Welcome to Updates with Precious. It always suits my belly to bring you an update about things that happen for inside Nigeria. Today, another beautiful day, the 24th day of the month of April 2025. And as the year they go, and very soon we don't enter May. And as they enter May, next thing we will celebrate now President Bola Ahmed Tinubu 2 years in office. Some people could look for waiting they say in mid-term scorecard bids so far when they enter office. But why President Bola Ahmed Tinubu go Abuja, go France to go relax, to think about in life and waiting it be say he don't do for Nigeria within the 2 years where he don't do office. People just say go they think of something. Now there and I begin hold different meeting. Because you just relax today now say Umaru Musa Kwankwaso, say Kwankwaso even visit him for inside France and he don't go visit him again. Today, for inside Asorok. People come, they say, waiting be all this. Well, there is a subtle plan we get to do with Concourse. So maybe being a VP or something, we'll go talk about that one. That's not part of our conversation. So now, because of the fear of Concourse moving from NNPP to APC, and remember, say the Delta State governor don't move. In former governor, will be that is Oboriwori don't move. Ifeanyi Okowa, Atiku Abubakar VP don't move, and Fubara go likely move. Omoino, the Cross River State governor, go likely move. Enugu State governor go move. It be like say they say Tinubu don't tighten in grip now for all the south and southeast states to hold all of them. As if we say not, they make shakara for them. Waiting come be the hope of the masses. At the end, people don't begin plan 7.5 million man march. Say they're not go agree again for inside Tinubu. Say this one way they do now state capture. Now you won't do. So for this state capture, they no go agree for them. And as we talk about this, part Utomi don't talk about the mobilization of 7.2 million people to Abuja to reclaim Nigeria from the elites and what they call state capture. We'll go talk about that for inside our matter today. And to all matter then we get to do with us, we still get other matter to do with the waiting they happen as if we say Ganduje and Kwankwaso feel be friends again as he get to do with the decamping of Kwankwaso to APC. Kwankwaso Obi worked for Tinubu in 2023. Now true. Say Kwankwaso and Peter Obi worked for Tinubu for 2023. Hey, they said they go do them again for 2027. Who talk this one? Deji Adeyanju. Now they talk this one. Governors joining APC out of fear, coercion. Say they make them fear. Say they think say waiting before Fubara go before them. Now waiting make they rush they join APC. Now who talk this one? Dele Momondo. In fact, somebody don't talk and say all the southern states go vote for Tinubu for 2027, whether they like him or not, because Tinubu hold them like this. Tinubu should be prudent with spending Nigerian cash. Oh, now there IMF don't they tell us say be like say they spend our money anyhow like next of kin. We no get focus. 2027, Tinubu don't tighten in grip for inside southeast and south out. And here now, as a defection don't they happen anyhow. 2027 again, Bubagaladima, a paperweight. Now so then call him Ganduje's aid. Now fire back at Bubagaladima. They say you. Maybe say you light past paper say. Lagos local government council chairman we won't contest for chairmanship election. Guess what happened? He withdraw in position as he hears his speaker Obasa son won't contest. So he don't remove in position for Obasa son to use contest. Wow. Interesting. And then there's this exclusive about how new terrorist group Mahmouda they plan to escape to Benin Republic through Kwara border communities. Security source. Now you don't they talk and say, did they plan to escape? You sure say you don't read them to escape. Despite past fraud cases, Tinubu's government to relaunch troubled school feeding program by May. They say Tinubu go start to feed children again for inside May. How much they go come tell us that they don't spend to feed school children now? What will be the benefit of that feeding? That's a part of it we'll go talk about. Groups don't accuse Gombe state government, police, of cover up about that Easter tragedy. What I tell you, where they talk, say, where truck run into protest, people where they do Easter Sunday procession. They can't lie, say the truck feel break. And now they don't they accuse the Gombe state governor, say it won't cover up the thing, say you know the truth finish, but it won't cover up. Insecurity, Nigeria safe for investment. No matter the shooting, no matter the killing, not gonna bring on investment, they come. Finance Minister Wale Edu, they talk this on. All this matter and more, we will carry comfortable today. Joining us for inside the conversation are Dr. Omoshola Deji. Dr. Omoshola Deji, a doctor of political science. The man we sabi, Dr. Deji, I doff cap for you. Well done, sir.
Thanks for having me.
So, Dr. Deji, we wake up this morning with the call of Kwankwaso, addressing media over the meeting where he gets with Tinubu, plus the one where he gets with him for inside Asorok, and the one where he gets with him for inside France. We will not even know, say, Kwankwaso go see Tinubu for France, right? So now he come talk and say, he been go see him for France, he get meeting with him. And we hear, say, plan day for Kwankwaso to be vice president to Tinubu because he go drop Shetiba, right? And then I hear say because Ganduje come the vex say okay, if Kwankwaso come dey close to you now, where will be my place? They come say okay, say Ganduje now if he produce the next governor for inside Kano State for 2027. Wetin dey happen? Fubara, e remain small thing, e go soon decamp im own. Akwa Ibom State go soon decamp. Bayelsa State na God hand dem dey. Delta State don decamp. All this decamping and all that. Now, some opposition don't liken them to a state capture. What is really going on? We want turn our government into one party system. Waiting be the thing really happen.
Okay. Can I proceed?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Are you there? Can I? Okay. Well, for me,
yes, I am. I am here. I didn't hear you well.
Okay, good. The 2027 election is fast approaching than usual. Before, the political alignment and realignment usually come about a year to the election. But we are seeing a strange occurrence in the Nigerian political space in the sense that we are seeing political alignment and realignment about 2.5 years or thereabout to the election, over 2 years to the election. Politicians are already realigning. So you may want to ask yourself that, what if it is now a year to the election? What is going to happen? You know, so for Kano State, you see, I don't see the optics doesn't look good for Rabiu Kwankwaso, and I'll dissect it for you. First, if you look at Rabiu Kwankwaso as he is, Rabiu Kwankwaso is the kind of he has branded himself as a leader of the Kano State politics at the moment.
Yes.
Now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu plays a game, which is that, and I hope our viewers can take their time to follow me carefully. Carefully. Now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu loves power, not Ganduje. Bola Ahmed Tinubu wants power, not Ganduje.
Not Wike. I just compare the two of them.
Now, still coming to that, not Ganduje, in the sense that Bola Ahmed Tinubu knows that if you want to win election in Nigeria, particularly in the north, there are 3 K states: Kano, Kaduna, Katsina. Now, the K states are important states, and they tried after the election to win over Kano to their side. Unfortunately for them, they weren't able to, because the Supreme Court, just rubber stamped everything INEC did. Since then, Bola Ahmed Tinubu would have been doing his permutation. By the way, I must say that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in terms of election, he has been performing great on how to position himself to have an easy win in 2027. But in terms of performance, he has been almost zero, if not zero. Now, he knows that the K states are important states for him: Kano State, Kaduna State, Katsina State. And he knows that if you are talking about Kaduna State, Ubasani is there, but then there is an El Rufai factor. El Rufai may have been a failure in the election, despite being an incumbent. APC won, but if you look at the margin of win and the way PDP was able to rescue the National Assembly seat with APC, we can say that for a sitting governor to perform that abysmally, then Nasir El Rufai is a failure. But then the failure of the APC government at the center now can make Nasir El Rufai a beautiful bride and can pitch Nasir El Rufai against Ubasani. Tinubu is aware of that. Now, if you now
including Southern Kaduna that feels very aggrieved
exactly,
over what
exactly. Now, if you go to Katsina, it would be stupid of Tinubu not to know that Buhari doesn't help anybody. Buhari is one of the most greedy politicians. I don't want to, in fact, Buhari, in terms of
greedy or just neutral?
I need to say this as it comes to mind. We are not on the normal conventional TV. In terms of help, in terms of being helpful politically, Buhari is one of the most useless politicians I've ever seen in Nigeria. And I challenge anybody to come and prove me wrong. I can give them instances that if I begin to give you, I'll spend 30 minutes on it. Buhari is the one of the most useless politicians. You can't see Buhari and Tinubu, in terms of being politically helpful, I like light and darkness. Tinubu will go all out for you. Tinubu will want to kill himself for you. Tinubu will kind of defend you as if his life depends on it. Look at Aregbesola, look at Fayemi, look at Justice Ayo Salami, then the controversy. You can go on and on and on and on. So
No,
Tinubu
Dr.
is
Deji,
good at that. Look at
I'm
Obasa.
having this hold back. I'm having this hold back from your sound.
Talk
I
back.
don't know why there's this hold back. Hold back.
No, no, I'm not having any talk back. I can hear you
Like I
loud
can
and clear.
hear, like I can hear your sound from here. Like your listening device is so high that I can hear it from here. So it's
No,
repeating.
no, it's just my normal device, just
Okay.
my
All right, no
gadgets.
problem. It's okay. Continue.
But I can hear
Continue.
you loud and clear. Just monitor the comment sections. Can my viewer hear me loud and clear? If they can, then
It's okay. It's
I can
okay.
proceed.
That's
If
great.
it's just
That's
at
great.
your end,
Continue, sir.
please
Continue,
just
sir.
confirm from your
It's okay.
viewers.
It's
Okay,
confirmed. It's confirmed. Yeah. Thank you.
my voice is loud and clear, right?
Yes, it's
For the viewers.
loud and clear.
Okay, great.
Yes, go ahead.
Now,
Mm.
Muhammadu Buhari is one of the most useless politicians in the history of Nigeria. And like I said, if anybody thinks otherwise, come and challenge me for it. I'll be glad. If you think otherwise, call for a debate. Precious will be the moderator. You know, Buhari is the type that doesn't fight for anybody. So, having been aware of this, that the 3K states in Buhari state, Castina, there is an issue in the sense that Buhari know they die for anybody. And the Buhari team have been neither here nor there. Tinubu is aware of that. Now, the Kaduna issue, Ubasoni is on Tinubu's side. But then, as I said, there's a Southern Kaduna issue. Then, El Rufai can be a spoiler. It's easy to destroy than to build. So, the only option left for him is Kano State, which is one of the 3K states. Now, Kano State usually, kind of like turn out this massive vote. And that is where Tinubu is focusing on now because he knows that he needs Kano State. Now, this is the arithmetic. Ganduje, Ganduje is Tinubu's friend, but then again, Kwankwaso will be useful for Tinubu, and that is why Tinubu is going for Kwankwaso, and that is why I've said that Tinubu doesn't like Ganduje, he likes power. Tinubu doesn't love Ganduje, he loves power. So the power now, the dynamics of the power is not with Abdullahi Ganduje, it is with Rabiu Kwankwaso as the sitting governor. So in this instance, what Tinubu wants to do apparently is to bring Kwankwaso to his fold so that he can secure the presidential vote in Kano State. He knows that once he is able to secure one of the K states and he can get some vote in Kaduna State, then Katsina State of Buhari, he will still get some vote. Then it's a win for him. That is his arithmetic. Tinubu, when it comes to power, is greedy. Some people will call it strategy. Some people will call it like it's the new political Maradona. Well, you can call it anything you like. And I have said that when it comes to political gymnastics, political abracadabra, political mago, Tinubu is A1. But when it comes to leadership, when it comes to governance, in the sense of real governance, Tinubu is zero. And the fact speaks for
Mm.
itself. Some of the people that don't still live in Lagos, some will say, oh, he built Lagos. That's another argument for another day. That's a nonsense argument. You will take the glory of Fashola, you will give it to Tinubu. The glory of Ambode, you give it to Tinubu. And those ones too will keep quiet. But that's another discussion for another day. So Tinubu, right now, the Tinubu boys knows that they are not powerful. And that is why I have asserted as a political scientist that they are scheming to operate based on what we call dark politics. In the sense that democracy is created so that you create succum for the people, you kind of like dialogue with people, you win the affection of the people will now cast their vote for you in return. It is like a quid pro quo kind of thing, which is that you give me, I give you.
I give
You
you.
scratch my back, I scratch
I
your back,
scratch your back.
So if I say
This one
you
where you
love me, I
swallow.
love
This
you
one
now.
where you swallow hard
If I
now.
say
No, 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 no. I don't like her.
if I say
You
you love
don't
me, I
really
love you
scratch
now,
my back, scratch your back. You can't do. Can't they close your eye?
people
What's
will turn
happen?
it. No, you know that I was just saying it as it comes to mind. So I was about to say, you scratch my back, you love me. I thought you say people could turn out to case now. They go say, doctor, did you not confirm? On a more serious note,
Right.
Tinubu is good in this kind of a thing, and that is why you see that he has his eyes on the ball. Now, you may want to ask yourself that why is these people? Why are they kind of like drooling towards Tinubu? Why is Kwankwaso a political heavyweight? Somebody that had the effort to be blasting Peter Obi, that he can't be deputy to Peter Obi, that he has been a senator, he has been a minister, that his political CV is higher than Peter Obi. So you may want to ask yourself that why is all these people, why are they going the way of Bola Ahmed Tinubu? That's one question that we must not fail to ask ourselves. And the reason is that number one, you see, when you are the president of Nigeria and you are dealing with politicians, Nigerian politicians has two issues. Number one, they have skeleton in their cupboard. Number two, they like the cookies. And if you are the one with the cookie jar, then definitely You have what it takes to do it. And don't forget that all these guys, they are not poor guys. They are big guys. But then again, Bola Ahmed Tinubu happens to be the Odogu. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a politician that if you look at his political trajectory, he can afford, if they say, oh, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, precious is your problem. And precious can only kind of like compromise if we can like say, okay, 1 trillion naira. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, with profound respect to him, is the kind of guy that, oh, okay, precious is strategic to my winning 1 trillion naira. No wonder, let's go there. He's that kind of guy.
Go pay the
He's a
money.
spender. Oh, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Wike is one of the spenders as well. Akpabio too is one crazy spender of a guy.
And now the
So
three
if
of
you
them
look
come
at
join
it,
together, come become
so
friends.
exactly.
See
So
us see wahala for Nigeria.
absolutely. So if Bola Ahmed Tinubu truly has any kind of like dealing with all these drugs, in fact, I can tell you with profound respect to him, if you look at the way Bola Ahmed Tinubu does his politics, it is more of it that he has interacted with all these Chicago guys, all these forfeiture of drugs, something than not. In the sense that the way he scheme out his things, if the way all these underworld guys, the way they operate, like, they are very bold, they are very daring, they are very tactical, very diabolical, like a mixture of everything. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu seems to be an embodiment of all that in the way he's scheming his things. Now, you can win by performing, by aligning with the people, right? By providing dividend of democracy. You can also win by capturing the structure. You can win by capturing the structure. Now, what Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing is that he is not on the side of the people. It's not about bringing about anti-masses policies. His eyes is on the structure. And that's why I said he's an embodiment of some of these funny characters that you can see instead of him to liaise with the people, to kind of like, he knows that the political parties are a purpose vehicle for you to emerge as a winner of an election. So what Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing is not to go after the mind of Nigerians, but to go after the structures. For instance, what he's doing is that, for instance, I have a car, Precious have a car. We are to go on a race from Lagos to Ibadan, and my car is faulty. I can only operate on Gear 1 and Gear 2. Precious car is okay. So now that politics is me going to knock the engine of Precious car before they break. So that no matter how I use Gear 1 and Gear 2, no matter how slow I am, I will get to Ibadan first before Precious. That's what Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing. Some people may not understand this, but as a political scientist, I see he is attacking the structure. He is going for the structure because he knows that there's no independence candidacy, whether you like it or not. You must go with either the PDP or the Labour Party. And that's why since Bola Ahmed Tinubu became president, this party have never experienced peace, and they may never experience peace. Now that he's done with them and they are doing their coalition of a thing, he's now going after the kind of like compromised or easily flexible-minded politicians. Compromise in the sense that those that have cases with EFCC, majority of them do anyway. If you look at Delta State, Ibori is not the same. Some of his files are still there. Ifeanyi Okowa was picked up by the EFCC. Oberi Wori, or what do you guys call it? Oberi Wori or something, Oberi Wori or or whatever,
I think that's the governor with the most difficult name to pronounce.
No, I'm just trying to catch fun. I can still pronounce it a bit right. I think it's Oberi, man, whatever, whatever. Now the thing is that the guy also, if you check him well, there may be one or two things. So if you look at the political family of Delta State, this is a political family of corruption. This is a political family of toiling with public funds. That is a compromised political family. So Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going for the compromised political family and the flexible, should I say the politically flexible or morally flexible ones, in the sense that if you look at it now, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, the case of Kano State, yes, Tinubu has every reason to go after Kwankwaso based on the case state that I recently said. And also, now, why won't he go after Kano State? That's why you see that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not like he's a politically loyal guy. He doesn't have any friend who can give him what he wants. He wants power. Do you have the power? Can you give it to him? Fine. He loves power. Do you have the power? Can you give it to him? So be it. And that's what is going after. And the problem now is that Ganduje, sorry, I think I need to touch on Kwankwaso as well. Kwankwaso will be finished. Kwankwaso will be politically finished. And I'll give you the
Why do you
example.
say he'll be finished? Remember the mites he gathers in in Kano
No,
State.
you no hear it out. Now,
Okay.
except Bola Ahmed Tinubu is willing to sacrifice Ganduje as the chairman of APC. That's only when there can be peace. Ganduje was the deputy of Kwankwaso. They fell
Yes.
out during the Buhari regime, and now they've not been seen eye to eye. Kwankwaso is like Fubara and Wike, or Wike and Amechi. I think that's a good example. Kwankwaso
Mm-hmm.
and Ganduje is like Wike and Amechi.
And Amechi,
So they
yes.
cannot operate together in the same police. And this is where the problem will start. How will they share the political office structure in 2027? Don't forget that Ganduje, as the immediate past governor, has his own existing political structure. Ganduje, in his mind right now, already has a senatorial candidate for 2027. He has House of Representative candidate for 2027. So when 2027 comes and Ganduje is the leader of the party, is the chairman of the party, Kwankwaso will have to forfeit some things. One thing that they will give Kwankwaso is the governorship of the state. Okay, Abba Kabir Yusuf should return. But I can bet you that because they are political arch enemies, Ganduje will not release the National Assembly structure to Kwankwaso, and that's where problem will arise. Because Kwankwaso will still want to keep the members of the House of Representatives in Kano State, and I think they are about 10 or over 10 or thereabout. The three senators in the state, Ganduje will not want to release.
One of them, one has already decamped. One
You
already
see,
decamped
Ganduje will not want to release.
to APC, from NNPC to
Mhm.
APC.
If we want to keep the candidate so that each can have some political mileage, and that's where problem will arise. Now to the vice presidential candidate, should
As
I say
Kwankwaso. Mm.
in the vice presidential candidate issue, there will be a problem in the sense that Kwankwaso is more strategic to Bola Ahmed Tinubu as vice president. In the sense that if you look at the conduct of Shettima has been neither here nor there, although it is arguable that you will be strong depending on how your principal, the president, wants you to be strong. But adopting this guy as the vice presidential candidate is a strategic move. But then again, where will you keep Kashim Shettima? Kashim Shettima, don't forget that in the Kashim Shettima circle, there's already distrust. The house that was built for Shettima, there are reports that he didn't live in it because he believed that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has allegedly compromised the security system in the house. And
Yes.
that was about the time whereby all this tax reform bill and all this issue. Now, Shetima is not in
Yes.
tune with the tax reform bill of a thing, but then just like Professor Yemi Oshibajo choose to be politically correct during Buhari time, Shetima too has largely kept quiet. He's trying to be politically correct, but the optics doesn't really look too good for Kashim Shetima in terms of returning as Tinubu's deputy, because what does Kashim Shetima want to offer him? And don't forget that Kwankwaso, him being an experienced guy as well, we want to negotiate ruggedly with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So if you look at it, it's more of maybe than maybe not in terms of the vice presidential issue. It looks real. From the political arithmetic of it, it looks very real. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu, knowing his political.
Because at least Kwankwaso can give him Kano
Of
State,
course,
if
he
not
will
for
give. No,
anything else. And
he knows that
and they can
Kwankwaso will
exaggerate
give him
Kano
the bulk
votes.
vote of Kano State, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be thinking that if he can keep Kwankwaso and Ganduje together for the sake of the election, and that can produce like over 1 million or 2 million votes for him, that's a bulk vote. You know, that's a bulk vote for him in the election. Now, Delta State seems to be locked down for him. Enugu State, you mentioned Enugu State. Akwa Ibom State seems to be locked down
Yes.
for him. River
Yes.
State
River
now is
State.
scheming himself to.
Can I say
Yes,
something?
please.
Uncle I, in all of this, I want to understand something. Where be the place of the people now for the masses? Now, you won't tell me, say, how they come, no vexer. You won't tell me, say, everybody for Kano State, everybody for River State, everybody for Delta State, everybody for Akwa Ibom State, everybody for Enugu State. They happy with their governors so much for waiting their governors they do. And they too happy with this president's performance. So much that whatever their governors tell them, that's what they will do. How will these governors exactly give Tinubu that bulk vote against the will of the people? Speaking about that, did Umahi give Tinubu APC in Ebonyi State in 2023? Did Hope Uzodinma give him a Ebonyi State, Imo State in 2023? So what is the possibility that the human beings, the masses in these states, may defy whatever it is that they are going through right now from this administration and say, no, we must follow our
Good
governors? And
question.
now the question I say, one, I
Good,
want to ask,
good.
because at the end of the day, we must touch the masses for this. Then before we go to the protest that they are planning, about 7.5 or 2 million man protest to storm Abuja, they
Well,
say they want, say that state capture, they capture Nigeria, say they want
Well, the
protest
thing
against them.
is, sincerely, if I'm to be truthful, I'm not a big fan of Tinubu, but I have to be truthful in this regard. The protest is just nonsense in the true sense of it. Now, you can only protest for
Oh, wow.
state capture if Bola Ahmed Tinubu have tampered with the apparatchik of the state. In the sense that if he is in talk with Kwankwaso and he did not kind of like, he did not arrest Kwankwaso, even if he had threatened him behind the scene, he did not arrest Kwankwaso, and Kwankwaso decided to follow him. The Delta guy, very worried, decided to follow him. You know, those are the kind of politics. You can call it dark politics, but then it is still politics in the sense that he's trying to kind of like use what he has to get what he wants. But you can protest for state capture if Bola Ahmed Tinubu is abusing the apparatus of the state, just like the state of emergency. If they say they were protesting the state of emergency rule in Rivers State, that's a good instance. If they are protesting about the minors that were arraigned in court, that's a good instance. If they are protesting against human rights abuse, that's a good instance. Even if they are now protesting that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you have done renewed up to hopelessness, that's a good instance. But for you to come out and say you are protesting against state capture, what are the indices of the state capture that Professor Pastor Tunde, with profound respect to him,
We go reach that level. We'll never enter there. Oh. You know, so I never read the details to you, and I get footages to also play to prove that details. So make we just continue with the political,
okay,
you know, at the analysis of the
for
political
me, even
permutation.
even without hearing the details, based on my kind of like up to date view on politics and happens in the polity in Nigeria, protesting against state capture, I don't think the protest is adequately framed. You can protest against hardship, there's hardship. You can protest against insecurity, there's insecurity. But state capture, or you know, there is a step to capture the state. But then again, what evidences will you point to? Will you say that Kwankwaso should not move? It is his political right. If Kwankwaso moves, how does that affect you as a person? Right? So if people are moving towards the PDP and Atiku is winning all of them over, when El Rufai moved, why didn't they protest against that? So the argument that they would put, you know, even without listening to it yet, but as a political scientist, I believe that there are more strategic ways to protest, to show Bola Ahmed Tinubu Pepe, than to say state capture. You understand? For me, I think that they should be protesting against the insecurity, the hardship. There's a lot of things to protest against. But for you to say you want to protest against state capture, for instance, if Bola Ahmed Tinubu now decide to go and invade the home of judges, that's a step towards state capture. Because you are trying to intimidate the judiciary, you are trying to harass the judiciary. The state of emergency declaration in Rivers State, that's a clear attempt to state capture. But if Overi Wori of Delta State, James Ibori, decide to say that he wants
I
to,
like the way you call his
you
name.
know,
You call his name like you're singing, like music.
if the guy decide that he's moving, you can put some moral clause to it, but then again, you really can't call it state capture because unless there's an evidence that he is pointing a gun at their head or they are crying out that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is saying that if we don't join the APC, it's going to kill us, it's going to destroy us, then you can protest against state capture. If Bola Ahmed Tinubu tamper with the institution of state, if you use the police or DSS anyhow, you can protest against state capture. If you use the judiciary, if you manipulate the judiciary and there are evidences to that, you can protest against state capture. So there must
Are
be
there no evidences to that?
no,
We're
no.
coming
It is
back to
not
that,
about
as I
you
said. So I
cannot
would like
protest.
if you can
Sorry, ma.
address if you can address my
Sorry, ma.
question on the place of
You
the
cannot
masses
protest state
in all of
capture
this
based on political
campaign. Okay.
negotiation, alignment, and realignment. You can protest state capture when the apparatchik of the state is being abused, when the apparatus of the state is being used not for the collective interest of the citizenry that comprises the state, but for your own personal interest. There must be an interest of using all for one. There must be a clear instance that you are using all, maybe the police, the military, the apparatus of the state that is meant for all, you are now customizing it for one. Then you can point to the element of state capture. If you withheld the resources of a state. Like you are supposed to release money to Bayelsa State now, and because you don't like the face of the governor, you now decide to punish the governor by holding on the resources, the legitimate allocation of the state without any court order. That is element of state capture. Because whether you like it or not, whether you don't like the governor, even if the governor is your worst enemy, even if the governor go and have intercourse with your
Are you
daughter.
saying that
Wait,
he
I'm
has not
coming.
captured River
Even if the
State now?
governor,
Are you saying that he did not capture
I'm
River
coming.
State? What's the actions where President
No,
Tinubu do? You know they
no,
tantamount to state capture of
I
River
placed an
State.
exception.
Where in our constitution where we put military administrator? Where is there
I
for inside
placed
our
an
constitution?
exception.
I'd love to be
No, I
convinced
placed an
about it.
exception. I said the case of River State
Okay.
is state capture.
Okay.
It is an illegal state of emergency. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu torment River State and similarly Fubara. I have said it, and I think I said it on this program before that. It is ultra vires, which means beyond powers. You cannot put autocracy on democracy. Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not, and he cannot, and he will not have the power to sack a sitting governor. The national cannot sack the subnational in a democracy. It's as simple as that. You are the national. You cannot sack the subnational, except maybe through the court during the election tribunal or through the state house of assembly. So what Bola Ahmed Tinubu did in River State
Dr.
is
Deji,
just state capture.
can I say something? Can I say
Yes.
something very clearly before we move on? Because I still want you to react to the question where I asked before concerning the place of the masses for this decamping, what did it decamp? Now, what in Bola Ahmed Tinubu do for inside River State? A lot of experts don't come talk about them. Just like you said, rightly stated that it's wrong, right? Now, one of the things he also did was to also assume a legislative role by telling the military administrators, say, making the report to NEC,
Yes, I'm with you.
National Executive Council, make it a report to National Executive Council for decisions if he be say he won't take any decision. Now, analysts and lawyers have analyzed that and said that that means he, the president, the executive, they give himself the function and duty of a legislature of the state. That's not be tantamount to state capture. That's not question.
Okay.
Because as I speak to you right now, the military administrator is right now in Asorok attending his first NEC meeting. Remember that the National Assembly adjusted that whatever that thing when talk say no. Say make it be say the administrator will report to them. They even not set up a committee where the administrator go report to. But right now, it is right now for inside National Executive
I
Council
want to
meeting.
answer that question.
Waiting.
Okay.
Oh, okay. They talk, sir. Make I not talk too much.
Okay.
They talk.
Can I come in? Now, for the
Go ahead.
benefit of our viewers, let me try and break it down a little bit more. Now, I said when you want to call something a state capture, there must be an element of abuse of the authority of the state. There must be an element of abuse of the apparatchik of the state. Now, but if you are calling political alignment and realignment, like the cross-carpeting in Delta State, if you are calling it state capture, now it is difficult for you to prove, except if there are evidence that Bola Ahmed Tinubu point a gun or he kind of like intimidate and harass Overi Warrior of Delta State. That's when you can call it state capture. But if he uses political gymnastics and say, oh, okay, come to my state, I will tar this road for you. Come to my state, I will give you this, I will give you that. I will give you ministerial slots. When I want to do my cabinet reshuffle, all those ones are political alignment and they are just like negotiation. In the political world, you buy and sell players, just like in football. But that of River State, if you are saying River State, Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not even have the authority to declare a state of emergency at all. So what he's doing in River State is using the apparatchik of the state, the authority of the state, to abuse it, which will unilaterally, at the end goal is for his personal gain in 2027, and that is state capture. It is different from the cross-carpeting in Delta State. That's not state capture. But the one of River State, that is like a state capture. But you can't call the cross-carpeting in Delta State a state capture. Now, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself, to go more on that River State that you said, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you see, one thing about him, when it comes to political gymnastics, all this political wuru-wuru, he is good at it. Let me give you an example. Siminalayi Fubara met Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the United Kingdom.
London.
Let me break this down a little bit for my viewers. First, if you are in Nigeria and you are a president, they give governors They give the governors like almost an instant access if they want to see the president. If you are a governor in Nigeria and there's something happening within your territory, if you call Aso Rock now and you want a meeting with the president, they will give you like almost an instant access to the president. That is how it is usually done. But if you are not in the good book of trading, they can say, okay, the president is busy, come next tomorrow, this, that, this. Now, if you look at it, not to now talk of a governor that is not apparently in the good book of the president, and the president is now in his private time in London. Fubara left. I want to drive at something. Oh. Fubara left Nigeria to meet with Bola Ahmed Tinubu in London. Why did Bola Ahmed Tinubu grant Fubara audience? Like I said, Bola Ahmed Tinubu loves power, not Wike. Like I used the case of Kano State. Bola Ahmed Tinubu wants power, not Wike. Fubara is a sitting governor. Fubara is a sitting governor. Wike is his appointee. Fubara is not at his mercy. Wike is at his mercy. He can decide to sack Wike today. He cannot sack Fubara. If Nigeria were to be a sane country, if Nigeria were to be a good country, Fubara has no reason. He has no reason whatsoever to say he wants to go to London to go and meet with one president. No. Sit down in your house and be drinking coffee. The judiciary will do the right thing.
Okay.
But then, sorry, man.
So, Dr. Deji, where is the place of the people? Where? I wait. I don't want me answer that question. Okay, no vex. Because time they go. Because I need to know what our people could do. Wait, all these governors where they decamp, we make that because of them now. Tinubu, they happy saying they capture the states. Them waiting their citizens could do. Do they have the power to force all their citizens? I say all these governors now, where be say they decamp to Tinubu party because they want soft pedal Tinubu mind. Waiting be the place of their citizens. So that's the question. Will they force their citizens to vote Tinubu if they don't want to? Did all Imo State people vote Tinubu in 2023?
That's an easy answer for me. I will answer you, I promise. That's an easy answer for me. Let me land on that of Fubara, because that one is a bit complex and my people will gain a lot from me. Now, if Nigerian judiciary is the right judiciary, Fubara should just be drinking tea in his house. The judiciary will do the right thing. But Fubara has learnt his lessons, knowing fully well that that's how some people told him that, don't worry, these people have decamped. Look at the affidavit. Look at them singing on your mandate, we shall stand. They have already decamped. The judiciary cannot say they have few legislators. It can never happen. They deceived the man. When the man will hear judgment, the same Supreme Court say, they are still members. So Fubara has learned his lesson. As they are in court, he's also trying to align with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And because Bola Ahmed Tinubu wants power, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu met with Fubara. And this is, the end point. Before I answer your question, I don't want my viewers to miss this. The end point is that Bola Ahmed Tinubu met Fubara to save himself from political and judicial disgrace. In the sense that now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu would have been advised by people. He must have been hearing from people that this thing that you did is wrong. And if the Nigerian judiciary, if they throw out that case based on technicality or anything, I will lose hope in Nigerian judiciary totally. In fact, if I have an issue with you, I will try and resolve it with you out of court, because I know that Nigerian judiciary is totally compromised. In this case, Bola Ahmed Tinubu may meet with Fubara, align with him, shakara him, negotiate with him, and when the Supreme Court is nearing the time that they want to give judgment, knowing fully well that what he did is wrong, he will reverse the state of emergency. Quote me, God will not kill us. Write this thing down. Bola Ahmed Tinubu may reverse that state of emergency. By the time the Supreme Court will give judgment, that declaration will be nothing other than an academic exercise. That's why Bola Ahmed Tinubu is granting Fubara audience, to save himself from apparent political and judicial disgrace, because Bola Ahmed Tinubu has this political ego. At the end of the day, if the judiciary now gives judgment that the state of emergency should be reversed immediately, Fubara should be restated right now, immediately, then it will amount to judicial disgrace for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, somebody that has seen himself larger than Jesus Christ in terms of the political terrain in Nigeria, somebody that has seen himself greater than Muhammad in terms of the political terrain in Nigeria. It will lead to judicial disgrace, it will lead to political disgrace. That's why Bola Ahmed Tinubu is meeting with Fubara, so that he can see how to kind of like, and I won't be surprised if he call up that state of emergency almost when Supreme Court want to give that judgment, so that at the end of the day, even if Supreme Court now give judgment against him, it will amount to nothing other than an academic exercise. Now to your question, 2027, apparently, it will be between Nigerians and the political parties. For instance, if Nigerians are not agreeing that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has performed and APC stalwart are compromising, PDP stalwart are compromising, the battle will now not be between APC and PDP. It will now be between Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Nigerian masses. And trust me, there's something about Nigerians. As a political scientist, I've studied it over the years. When Nigerians are for you, it is as if the host of heavens are for you. That's one thing about Nigerians. If Nigerians are for you, if they love you, as Precious saying, go and sleep. In fact, if you die that day, you go to heaven because God will have no reason not to allow you enter heaven because the way Nigerians love you, if Nigerians love you, they will make you, whether you are an artist, whether you are a journalist, so long as Nigerians
Yes.
love you.
Yes.
But then this is the
Yes.
problem. And if not for want of time, I can give you like 20 instances. If Nigerians turn their back against you, immediately they turn their back
Yeah.
against you. Even if you are righteous, you obey the 10 commandments. I believe if you die, you go to hell. I believe so. If Nigerians turn their back again, so the way they are aligning, it's an elite game. If you look at it, it's an elite conspiracy. It's an elite kind of like alignment. The people, the masses,
That is
the
why
ma-
I asked you that question. I asked you, is it that they are damning the people like to hell with
they
the
are no,
masses? If una
they
die, make
are
una
damning
die.
the
We
people.
don't care about
They
una.
are
And
relying
what the
on the
people supposed to
power.
do now? And that's why I'm going back to that
They are
protest. I
relying
will get to that
They
protest now
are
because I need to
relying on
give you
the
details of
power
it.
of money. They are relying on the power of the police, the TSS, and all that. So I foresee a situation whereby Bola Ahmed Tinubu will grow more bold negatively, in the sense that in a democracy, as asserted by Bentham and Mills, any decision you are to take is to be in favor of the greatest number of the citizens. But as Bola Ahmed Tinubu begin to make this political alignment and realignment, and it is working in his favor, he will grow more bold in anti-masses policies. He will go more bold in daring the people. He will go more bold in taking obnoxious policies. And at the end of the day, when the election comes, it will now not be Bola Ahmed Tinubu and APC versus Bola Ahmed Tinubu and PDP. It will now be Bola Ahmed Tinubu versus the Nigerian masses. And that's where the problem will arise. So because I see Bola Ahmed Tinubu growing more bold. If you look at it, he has the National Assembly in his pocket. Now he's capturing the state. He's entering the South state. He's entering the Southwest state. He's capturing them. He's targeting Kano. After Kano, he will still go to some northern state. That is the real Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's all about power. Give him power, he wants power. Give him more power, he wants more power. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is zero on performance, is high on grabbing power, snatching it, retaining it, whether stealing it, running away with it, I don't know. But he's high on grabbing power. He has that political sophistry to grab power. He was the political striker of the APC, the political machinery. But when it comes to, when it comes to performance, when it comes to the dividend of democracy, we won't score Bola Ahmed Tinubu even having. So I foresee a situation whereby the earliest conspiracy will go strong, but then the suffering of Nigerians will increase. And when the suffering of Nigerians increase, there may be a kind of like subtle revolution on the part of the Nigerian people that whether you guys like it or not, as far as the presidency is concerned, we don't want Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So the military may try, the police may try, but when Nigerians, when they are resolute, when they are determined, then they are very difficult to confront. So I see a situation in which 2027, as it's going now, there's no hope in the APC, there's no hope in the PDP, there's no hope in the Labour Party. But then again, one candidate will emerge, one candidate will evolve. That will be a rallying point for the Nigerian masses. Then the Nigerian masses, even if that candidate is in ZLP, that candidate may be the rallying point for Nigerian masses. Nigerian masses will now forward, you will now troop to that particular candidate. It will now be Bola Ahmed Tinubu and APC versus the Nigerian masses represented by that particular candidate.
A particular candidate.
Represented
All
by
right,
that
let's
particular
quickly touch
candidate.
on that
That is what
protest
I
issue.
foresee
All
that
right.
is happening, that will happen.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So, touching on the protest right now, Pastor Utomi, a renowned professor and, of course, political economics, has announced a mass mobilization effort tagged Freedom Converge. That's the word. Freedom Converge. That it's aimed at bringing over 7.2 million Nigerians into Abuja in a bold move to occupy Abuja until freedom returns to the people. Those were his words. Now he said this yesterday, he said this again today. Utomi painted a dire picture of Nigeria's political and socio-economic landscape, blaming the nation's failure on the deep crisis of elites. That's in what you're talking about, saying elites versus Nigerians. And an entrenched system of state capture, weak institutions, and self-serving leadership. He said a lot of things, but I would love for us to see that. As a matter of fact, one, I think the DG of Big Tent also said something about that in an interview yesterday, where he said that it's time for Nigerians to march in Abuja as their voices are not being heard enough. So it is now time for them to march. So let's listen to Pat Utomi say that, and then quickly listen to that interview with Abdul Karim in with Arise
The
Television yesterday,
Freedom
and then
Converge
I'll let you
that we're
make your
planning to bring
take your
7.2
reactions on that.
million Nigerians into Abuja to occupy it until freedom goes back to the Nigerian people is motivated by a troubling, a deep crisis of elite. I mean, there are those who, I think, of it as a Tinubu problem, but it's much more than that, much worse. He may be a stimulant in some ways, but the crisis is deeper and much worse. And if we don't halt it, there'll be no future, I can assure you. Now, Pastor Bakare, in enumerating some of the sources of that crisis as a Tinubu problem, has talked about state capture, which I've talked very often about. They talked about judicial capture, maybe not so much about judicial capture, but the completely useless 10th National Assembly that we have. And he has talked about the push for one-man rule, the domination of society by a strong man. Those are symptoms. There's such a much deeper crisis of elite. If we go back to the 1950s when elite bargains necessitated a federal structure, you saw young people who were committed to long-term goals for their country work out an arrangement. That's why the federal structure remains the only way that makes sense in Nigeria, a true federal structure. Military rule destroyed that. But as you can see, the civilians have not done enough to reverse that because they see that as an elite, they can profit from it, from the rents that it gives them. The long-term good of the Nigerian people doesn't seem to quite strike them when they get this opportunity to take care of themselves. And this is really the Nigerian tragedy. And so part of what this whole movement is about, and this is why we don't just march into Abuja, it will take 1 or 2 weeks of educating people where they live about how a country can care for everybody, how a country can be led by the right kinds of people, not be a criminal enterprise, how a country can develop a strategy for national growth that will make us not just be like our peers, but surpass them. Our peers all left us behind. Because the story of Nigeria and Indonesia is a classic example. But almost all of our peers left us long, long ago, far behind. Because of a crisis of elite. How do we correct this crisis of elite? That's why we're marching on Abuja. And it's going to be a huge march. I mean, let us just look at the troubles that face us regarding an ineffectual National Assembly. Pastor Bakare did a good job of dealing with that. Let us look at what judicial capture has done to us. Let us look at how a failing media, let's not pretend, Nigerian media has been a terrible failure. They make an effort, some of them, but they're captured easily. Poverty has reached everybody. So those who have the strings pay of journalists in our country can get the kind of robust discussion it got when we were in our teens and early 20s and functioned as reporters in that country. The real problem in Nigeria is that in the elite's struggle to get a piece of the action for their own survival, they forgot the people, the Nigerian people. People without whom justice, the only way they can deal with things is to turn to violence. And violence has made it very difficult to produce. And then worse still, the elite are so obsessed with their self-surviving that economic policy is all about stabilization, and nothing about real growth. You don't grow an economy by the kinds of things we're doing. Those stabilize you, give impressions that things have turned around, but in the end, you're all dressed up with nowhere to go. So it's time to change all of this. Let's continue. We'll talk about this some more next week. And by December, as a country, we'll be ready for change, ready for a new kind of Nigeria. And I assure you, Nigeria.
Okay, so Dr. Deji, if you heard what he said, remember that this particular protest is talking about no be now, sometime later in the year. And in talk say before the protest, then go start with sensitization of Nigerians on what an ideal democracy supposed to be. That is the way it happen for a sane environment versus how them Nigerians they enjoy them now. so that Nigerians mind go don dey built to understand wetin e be say they miss out for government. Make we also hear wetin the director
We are
general
trying to
of
even be
the
very,
president
very
talk concerning
conservative
rights
of the people
celebration
that we want
yesterday
to bring.
concerning this.
Because the idea is that people voted and they expect that this democracy can bring succor to them. And then they send people to Abuja to represent them. That's mean if those people in Abuja cannot represent them, cannot give them, they cannot send their voices to Abuja, then I think it is time for Nigerians to march to that Abuja to represent themselves and also pursue what they want. As Mr. Pat Utomi has said, this is entirely an issue of the elite, that they couldn't have a consensus within themselves to allow the masses and the poor to breathe. That's where we are today. And we can see people have already lost hope. I was just listening to the last speaker. A whole governor with the mandate of people from PDP has already moved to another party at the center. That's mean we are moving towards one state government, which is not going to be healthy politically. So what people want is that, are we having what this democracy has promised to give Nigerians? The answer is no. Can we send a representative to talk in our behalf in Abuja? The answer is no. Are we happy with what the judiciary is doing? The answer is no. Are we happy with our politicians that are representing us, that feel that they need to have money to come and buy votes? The answer is no. Are we happy with the INEC itself when we have seen all what is happening? The answer is no. So what we want to do as in Big Tent, and also what we are planning for the Freedom Converge, is that we talk to people in various locations. We are going to meet them at their wards, and we are going to see the leaders. We are going to see any other group that we are aligning together with them, that we have to come out, leaders have to emerge, we have to bring ourselves to Abuja so that we can bring these policies. And we can sit in Abuja until they make those policies to be what we want. For example, if we want this reform, that they refuse to accept that these are some of the things that we are going to adjust in the INEC before the next election, including internal party policy and other things, then what do you expect us to do? We are not INEC, but INEC have commissioners that are representing people, but they are not doing what people want them to do. So what people will now do, and what we'll convince Nigerians to do, is that forget about these politicians. They are not taking this message to the center. And the center has closed their ears. They are not listening. So what we'll do is that we march in the march of like every other people in the world will see.
Okay.
And I told you we are conservative with the number. Charles, if you look at the numbers, for example, the opposition that we had, number of almost 14 million. If you divide the 14 million, you have how many?
Right. So, Dr. DJ, I would like get a reaction for what they talk. Now, based on this explanation, when don't make, for instance, the electoral reform, we don't they talk, say, what's in the name again? A Kano State formal politician, NNPC politician, Buba Galadima, talk and say Nigerian 2027 election will ever be free and fair. In fact, our vote can never count except to have a thorough electoral reform. But you and I know that your Tinubu's will, sorry, it should be they call them Tinubu's will like Babio, that his 10th Assembly will never conduct an electoral reform that will be detrimental to their own political interest. So, are you saying that this protest, what these people won't hold now, for about 7 million people, mobilizing 7 million people after sensitizing them between now and December, to make them march down to Abuja, occupy Abuja until National Assembly make the reforms what they need?
Well,
You think say you know go work?
well, of course, the protest is a good move, but I don't see it achievable. Number one, in terms of figures, I don't think they will get the 7 million in the two cents. If they get,
If they get 1 million, you know they want, you
if
know
they,
they're good
even if they
enough.
get 1 million, I fear stampede in case there is repression by the police. 1 million is a lot of figure. If 1 million people,
It's a lot
if,
of
if
figure.
1 million
Yeah.
people, if 1 million Nigerians troop out today, ah, Tinubu will be going to hit himself
A lot
every
of
two
number.
minutes because he will be under intense pressure. 1 million is not a small figure, not an out of 7 million. So in terms of the figure, it is not realistic. And even if it is realistic, I will fear because out of that 7 million, I can give or take 70 will end up dying. Either through stampede when they throw tear
That
gas
is
because
if
Nigerian
almost
police are intolerant, they're overzealous. Either through stampede, imagine 7 million gathering. Oh, if they should throw tear gas while they are scampering for safety, there will be casualty. So in terms of the figure, it's not realistic. Now, let us look at the message of the protest organizers. Well, the Hausa guy, the Hausa Fulani guy, as he said something
Yes,
that
Abukari.
resonates with me, which is that politicians are not carrying the message. The message is not getting to the government. It's just like a prayer. Let me use human being and God. And I think in the Bible it was called the Prince of Persia, right? That I think God has already answered the
Mhm.
prayer. Then when the answer to the prayer was coming, the Prince of Persia maybe stopped the answer to the prayer, something like that. So in this case now, when citizens make their demand, the politicians at the subnational level are supposed to take it to the federal, but they are not taking it. They are like the Prince of Persia. And if the government at the national release goodies to Nigerians, the politicians at the subnational and at the local level are also the Prince of Persia that will not let the goodies to get to the ordinary Nigerians. So I quite kind of like agree with the guy in terms of sabotage, political dividend sabotage. That's another word I can use for it on the part of a politician. But then let us look at the reality of the protest and how effectiveness such protests can be. Well, that protest will not bring out anything because why? The people at the national level is either their heads is blocked or they just have coconut head. They don't seem to listen to anything. The president seems to be surrounded by sycophants. All they will sing is on your mandate you shall stand. Immediately, instantly, when they are holding the protest, they will either go and tell him that they want to remove him from office or don't mind him. It was just all these Peter Obi boys and Atiku boys. They are just lying. Mr. President, you are the best. Because why? They know that is what Bola Ahmed Tinubu wants to hear. They know that if you say it's not the best, he won't believe you, can even go against you. And at the end of the day, I foresee a counter protest. In this country, the rate of unemployment, they are willing protesters. If you carry bundle of 1,000 now and you take it to all this Oshodi, Ajegunle, now you begin to give it to people, giving people 2,000, 3,000. You see the case of Natasha. The women that came to protest against Natasha at the National Assembly, they don't even know what they are protesting about. When they interview them, some just say, some will say, oh, she's just stubborn. What did she do? They don't even know. So I
I
foresee
don't
a
know.
situation whereby APC will kind of like prey on the poverty that they put people in. The same APC that put them in the poverty will roll out money, and they seem to have a lot of money at their disposal. Before you know it, you will see some people, they will come out and say 10 million protests in support of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So a lot of sycophants around, a lot of ignorant people, a lot of Prince of Persia, political Prince of Persia around that would not let the message, even if you protest, they still will not let the message to get to where it's supposed to go to. And those of you that know the Bible well, I'm not really, high on Bible, but then I know that the Prince of Persia in the political realm will stop even, your demands from getting to look at what happened during NSAS. They went to go and tell Buhari that they are marching to come and remove you. Imagine that kind of a nonsense of that. And before you know it, Buhari that is power centric, we just order the military to make sure that those protesters were dispersed. So when you say 7 million man march, they won't let the political Prince of Persia will not let it to have any disaster. Just like the Turkey, the Fearless October, end bad governance protest, it's the same way they didn't have any significant result. So also this one
Protest.
will not. And if you look at the
Protest.
arrowhead of the protest, in terms of Professor Pastor Tunde is not a political protest rugged guy. You understand? So at the end of the day, even Pastor Tunde themselves, even Pastor Tunde himself, before the shakara and twice, he will
Don't keep
maybe he
quiet.
will even run under his bed. So in terms of history of protest, if you are still talking about it, someone like Omoyele Sowore, even if you are still talking about Femi Falana, I still believe. Even if you are talking about Adeboye, I still believe him than Professor Pastor Tunde. Just that it's unfortunate we don't see, the likes of Adeboye to come out to say anything about the obnoxious policies of the government. Shout out to Pastor Tunde Bakare anyway. The international anthem of sycophants.
Hell, you remember
On your
I
market you
don't
shall
they
stand.
find out
You
what
know,
the
you know,
international
you know,
anthem of
the
psychopath. The man
international,
no hold water at
international,
all.
international anthem of psychopath.
Psychopath.
If this is, if this state capture is what you mean by a Miloko, like brilliant guy, in terms of like the astuteness, the reality behind this message, fantastic. And kudos to him. If only we can have an Adeboye, an Oyedepo, an
Speak up
Olukoya, all
like that.
the ulamas, all the imams to speak in that direction, then perhaps we can begin to
So,
have
so
a
Dr.
change in
DG,
government.
right now, as we speak right now, APC have started campaigning already. There are already billboards across the nation of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for 2027. Even though saying don't they deny, saying hand no day inside, and people don't they say body no day inside, but it's already happening. His posters are around town. Influencers don't they activated already. Influencers. You post anything that criticizes government, insult Tinubu small. People there will go come under your post now. Then position them strategically across all social media platforms. So influencers are already activated. The camping of governors already done in state. Why it be say will no fit Nigerians not mobilize themselves, come together, build up a strategy to defeat Tinubu? Why it they like say truly Tinubu they undefeatable? Why it be like that? Why it be like saying the person where they no fit defeat?
There's
Why it
like
be
a
like that?
network issue.
Because
I didn't
already
get
done
you
it.
well. I
If it,
had posters, I had influencers, but I didn't know the person you are
okay, so
talking about
I
precisely.
okay, I talk say posters right now don't already President Bola Ahmed Tinubu posters don't they scattered around the country.
Is it for
Even though say
Bola Tinubu,
presidency
right?
day. For Bola Tinubu, yes. Bola Tinubu, yes. Even though say
Okay,
Tinubu they
okay.
deny, say no being get the posters. Say no in hand, no day inside, right? Influencers don't already date staged, stationed at across different social media platforms. Once you post anything criticizing the government, influencers don't come at you, attack you. You understand? Now, why it be say the people themselves no fit galvanize, bring themselves together to make sure say they also beat him at his own game? Is it that Tinubu is so unbeatable? That's not the question we would ask. Is it that they no fit defeat am lie for inside politics? Or and if they no fit defeat am, why in they put all these things in place to use rally round people?
Well, there's a bit of network issue, so
Oh,
pardon me if I
sorry.
don't answer it the way you want me to, but I'll just
Sorry.
try and kind of like join the dots from the little that I heard. I had posters, I had influencers, and I think it's about Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, if that is the case, well, what I can say is that influencers are all over the place. They are willing to, and one thing I discovered in the Nigerian political space is that being in power is like when you drop a sugar, you are like the sugar. Nigerian politicians are like the ants. Even if you don't want them, they will naturally come to you. They will be flocking you, they will gather around you. And now coming from a person that is a spender, somebody that wants to govern Nigeria. See, if I can make this assertion, I don't know if you are there. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Very well. I can hear you very well, Dr. BJ.
Okay. Um, if I can make this assertion, you see, Nigerians are thinking about 2027, but the way things are going, I'm already even looking at 2031 because as it is now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is capturing everything capturable. He's kind of like maneuvering everything maneuverable. He's kind of like moving everything movable. And at the end of the day, don't forget that this guy has not even appointed INEC chairman. Oh. Don't forget, he has not appointed INEC chairman. Oh. Who will be the game changer? Egbetokun, he has refused to sack Egbetokun. And even if he sack Egbetokun, he will put his guy there. The DSS guy is a Yoruba guy. Oh. See, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been planning for 2027 right since 2023, 2024. I can tell you for free, as a political scientist. He has put the DSS guy, a Yoruba guy, strategic. He has put EFCC guy, Olukayode or something, strategic. He have to do with politics, governance, intimidation of politicians. If you look at them, they are key Yoruba people, very strategic Yoruba positions. The police, the DSS, the EFCC. Those three, when it comes to dealing with politicians, you really need them because all of them are, should I say, majority of them have dipped their hands in the cookie jar. So Bola Ahmed Tinubu is perfecting strongly for 2027. Right since 2024, he has been planning and strategizing for 2027. So in that particular, under that circumstance, except Nigerians choose not to be politically timid, look at it now. Like what you said, it's already capturing influencers. If it's already capturing influencers, and there are a lot of hungry influencers out there, there are a lot of compromised influencers. If Bola Ahmed Tinubu give them C of O in one land in Lagos, let me tell you how Bola Ahmed Tinubu plays game. Let me share something with our viewers. This thing is verifiable. I heard it myself live on TV. I think it was Teslim Folarin, who was the name of the APC candidate in the last election in Oyo State that contested against Makinde. During the election, the guy is saying he's an APC guy and he will support Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That those saying that he will not support Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that they are lying. That his relationship with Bola Ahmed Tinubu dates back in time. That when he had an encounter with Bola Ahmed Tinubu allegedly sent him a parcel. In that parcel was already a land in Lagos Island, maybe Ibejuleki or Ikoyi or Aja, one place like that, inside that parcel was a C of O. His name is already written on it. Just pick the one you want. So Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a gamer. He's a game boy, and most politicians are gamers. So somebody that can go to that extent, do you know what he would have pacified Kwankwaso with? Kwankwaso is a big guy, he's a big game player too. And one of the things that they can use to pacify somebody like Kwankwaso is that VP ticket. And that's why I said it is possible, it is realizable. Hello, are you there?
I can hear you very well, Dr. DJ.
Can you hear me?
I'm
Okay, so
very loud and
okay,
clear.
and that's why I said it is. Yeah, and that's why I said it is visible. It is realizable. Now we begin to go after the influencer. So some influencers are already in the box anyway. Somebody like Sheyilo is already in the box. Somebody like Eniola Badmus is already in the box. A lot of them are already in the box. Now, influencers like Cubana Chief Priest, that you don't know the source of his wealth, he will just come online, spray money na water, money na water. It's already in the box. When Mobi Cubana was celebrating his birthday, he wore the Bola Ahmed Tinubu cap, despite knowing as a close ally of Obi Kubana that Peter Obi would most likely be coming to that birthday. So all these ethnic, all these people is no longer there. So if you look at it, an influencer, he has become an influencer, despite the fact that you don't know the source of the wealth of some of these guys. You can, if you ask anybody now that what is Dangote doing, you can point to something. But some of these guys that brandish all this, if you ask me what does Elumelu does, you can see what he's doing, right? But all these guys, you can't even really say this is what this one is doing. But then, because Nigeria is a society that tolerates nonsense, that won't question your wealth and anything, now they have turned to influencers. And these guys are willing tools. They are willing tools in the hands of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He himself, is a gamer. And most of these guys are game boys. So if you look at it very well, 2027, I'm already losing hope. I'm already looking for to test the case of 2031, whereby would Bola Ahmed Tinubu be able to annex his political empire beyond his tenure as he did in Lagos. That's what I'm looking forward to now. But if you look at it, as far as 2027 is concerned, for me, as a political scientist, it's already becoming a done deal for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in the sense that if you look at it, he'll be the one to appoint the INEC chairman. Egbetokun, who happens to be a major stakeholder in contesting the election, is his boy since since days of old, since times immemorial. Now, if you look at it, just look around you. Delta is already gone. Enugu is going. Oshun may be gone. Within a night twinkle. So if you look at it, except Nigerians can rise, and this is where I'm losing hope in 2027. Under such circumstance, Nigerians are kind of like very timid people. Nigeria are politically inactive. They do what we call political apathy. They are not interested in politics. They will say, oh, this is, you can do what you like. For instance, when you are playing the video, I went through your comment, there was somebody that is called maybe smart something, was just dropping a nonsense comment. And I was just laughing that, these Nigerians, that's how Nigerians can be. Anyway, so,
So speaking
Nigerian.
about comments, one of the comment people with the comments think say this whole game where they happen for inside politics now and the campaign now all in the bid to fight Peter Obi because of the crowd will be say carry and the mind of the masses will be say carry. Do you think Peter Obi may be part of the reason why this whole thing is happening?
Well, I didn't hear that quite well.
You think say Peter Obi now one
Are you
of the
there?
reasons we
Can you say
make
that again?
this you think say Peter Obi now one of the reasons we make these political shifts they happen right now? That's the question.
Well, the thing is that Peter Obi exists in a world of his own, and some Nigerians are thinking about comment. You see, one thing, if I can pray for Nigerians sincerely, if I have a magic wand, which is to give Nigerians some sense of logical reasoning. If you look at it, everything that I've been saying, I've spoken against Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I've spoken in his favor, right? But there are some Nigerians that have this, Nigerians are highly disoriented of some sort, in the sense that that intellectual rigor to reason right. I've said it on your program before. It is in Nigeria that a man will drop maybe 5,000 or 10,000, one irrelevant money for his wife to prepare a meal. And the man will be complaining, why is this meal not sweet? You will pay your child school fees. Why did you collect A? Is it not your mate that is collecting, that is bagging A in their class? That same man, when it comes to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he can do no wrong. Imagine. some of them, when it comes to Peter Obi, he can do no wrong. When it comes to Atiku, he can do no wrong. Are you being fair to your wife and family? So for me, I think that Peter Obi exists in a world of his own. He still have that organic followership. See, the way you test real presidential like material is the organicness. Peter Obi, for him to be able to boast of over 6 million organic votes, despite the wicked abracadabra, despite the Lagos mago here and there, over 6 million votes in the 2023 election, and he kind of like have that vote, then Peter Obi is one of the people to watch out for in 2027. I can tell you that if he can play his games right, Peter Obi needs one thing, which is either Atiku Abubakar, a vice presidential candidate for him, because whether you like it or not, if we put Atiku on the ballot today, we still have his vote. But Atiku cannot be the presidential candidate. Atiku is now, his time has gone. So if you can kind of like suggest a vice for Peter Obi and they match together, then Peter Obi becomes the flag bearer, and Peter Obi lean on Atiku's strength. Then he goes to the core north as well to be able to garner some votes in the core north. Peter Obi can spring up, some kind of like good outing. I don't want to say surprise because Bola Ahmed Tinubu will play anything playable. See, I wish I can give everybody the
So in
benefit
clear
of this
terms,
society to understand the person of Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
in clear terms, Dr. Deji, you dey try talk say if election now na free and fair, say Peter Obi go likely get more natural vote, normal organic vote of people, but because of the way mago dey for Nigerian election, say Tinubu sabi play the game pass, so in get the apparatus of rigging we go make am Peter Obi no go fit near anywhere for
In clear
election.
terms,
Is that what you're insinuating? I like to
mm,
understand.
in, in clear terms, what I'm insinuating is that Peter Obi is a good candidate, and I have asserted before that in the Nigerian political space today, the major threat that Bola Ahmed Tinubu will fear the most in terms of presidential candidate is Peter Obi. The major threat that can really shake him in terms of being a presidential candidate, it will be Peter Obi. And that is why Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be doing everything possible to see that Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar does not align. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu is highly favored because Atiku Abubakar is naturally greedy. He wants the ticket. He will want to be the vice. Now, Obi can be nothing other than a flag bearer. And that's where the problem lies. What I'm saying in clear terms is Obi is a presidential material with organic vote, but he needs that northern support, and it will be good for him if he can have that Atiku Abubakar support, with Atiku nominating a vice presidential candidate for him. Atiku is not on the ballot, but the vice presidential candidate is his guy, and they now team up. And Peter Obi will need that core northern alliance, and for that, it will give Bola Ahmed Tinubu a good run for his money. But then again, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, with how INEC, conducted itself in the Edo election. You know that most viewers don't know that now that Nigerian politicians now, they move from valor bus snatching. I think I need to enlighten our viewers. They've moved to the back end. You see that server, you see that IRF where they talk about. Now then they do their thing. Go to this Athena Center or by Osita Chidoka and go and listen to how they allegedly manipulated the Edo governorship election. You see that they have gone digital now. They are not thinking of ballot box snatching all those. No, they've gone a bit digital. And under such circumstance, Peter Obi will have a very rigorous battle to fight. And that's why I said earlier that it will need the Nigerian people to personalize the election as something that is an oxygen in nursery for them. Because regardless of anything, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he has said it that power is not Satalaka, so we go all out to make sure that he gives them a good run for their money. Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself knows he hasn't performed. Why do I say so? Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a Nigerian all his life. It's not that before he traveled out, before all these, issue, drug, whatever, before he make his money, he's a Nigerian. And I've said it before that Nigerians are ancestrally poor, but Nigeria is not poor. So even if you become a president today, you are not immune from the poverty in Nigeria. And that is the truth. You know that Nigerians are poor. You know that Nigerians don't have the money. You know that they don't have the wherewithal. And the politicians themselves, they know they have not performed. Those in Nassau Rock, they know. But then again, what they need is for you not to be organized. You see, you saying A, another person saying B or C. That's exactly what they need to retain themselves in power, to perpetuate themselves in office. And when the Bible says the heart of a man is desperately wicked, it was referring to Nigerian politicians. If you don't rise up, if you are not determined, if they don't see that you really want a change, whether in the level of governance or a change in the total governance structure by sacking whoever is in office, they will keep stealing your destiny. In fact, they've even stolen our destiny. Say, pressure. Now God they help you and I. And you sure say we still get destiny. You know, World Bank just approved $15 billion again. You sure say we still get destiny at all? That's the truth, you know.
But
And
what? But
I
the
just
same World
pity
Bank
you.
now they tell am say make him take suffering they use Nigerian money. That's what they tell am for the report. Where they tell am say make it take
So
small they use Nigerian money. Say don't they finish our money for us.
So you see, this 2027, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is, scheming. I'm sure that 2027 money is on the ground. It on the ground, even before reaching 2027. So he's strategizing, but I would have loved, you see, when you do the way Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going, he may have a second term, but he won't have a good place in history. That's where the problem is. So if I happen to see him and advise him, I will tell him that, Mr. President, if I can advise you truly as a real advisor, don't think about just winning. Think about you writing your name in the mind of Nigeria. At the end of the day, he may have that 2027, but is his name in the mind of Nigerians from the way things are going? Nigerians are not happy. Nigerians are, in terms of creating succor for the people, it is zero or almost zero. Some of the people that will come online to abuse and say this, that, some of them, they don't even have money to feed. Some of them have not paid their children's school fees. That's the madness, that's the gullibility of some Nigerians. And no matter whatever you do, Bola Ahmed Tinubu can never suffer. Sheyi Tinubu can never suffer. Some of the people that will be supporting blindly, their father was a slave, he suffered. So some of them, their father couldn't afford medical bill. He suffered and died. They have been suffering and they are still suffering. They are watching their children suffering. And they will die in that suffering. Their children will still suffer and still die in that suffering. Is that not madness? So
All right.
that's why I don't support blindly. But for
So Dr.
2027,
Deji,
Tinubu
he's likely
is
going to
almost there.
remain the
He's not there.
president.
No,
He's
no.
almost there.
He's
Good.
almost there.
So are
I'm
you
telling
what waiting Nigerians feel do? Are you saying that Nigerians are helpless and nothing to go feed do to make sure say no continue with this level when carry come for 2027? Nothing Nigerians feel do. Are Nigerians
you.
totally
Okay.
helpless?
No, what Nigerians can do is for Nigerians themselves to realize. You see, there's a stage of self-realization. For instance, the school where you go, it help you a lot in terms of realizing yourself. You being a professional, it help you a lot in terms of exposure. I don't believe that I can give Precious 5,000 naira now to come and vote, because Precious is naturally more than 5,000 naira. Maybe if you can give Precious 5 million US dollars, but Precious is an expensive girl anyway. You know, yeah. For some of you that are eyeing Precious, so I hope you have like $5 million. And the truth is that, but for Nigerians, as they are, the poverty is there. When you are poor, your defense is weak. When you are weak and almost down, you are just, gasping for breath and survival. And for that reason, at the end of the day, there's literally no hope. If the orientation of Nigerians now, right now, as I'm speaking to you today, if the orientation, if the resistance of Nigerians is anything to go by, tomorrow, when the Gbedu of Bola Ahmed Tinubu still paying, another word for hardship, hopelessness, destitution, poverty, when the Gbedu enter body, shout out to Burna Boy, when the Gbedu of the poverty enter body, see, let me just, give this to my viewers for want of time. No government, or should I say, let me not say no government. Let me say majority, and I stand to be corrected, 98% performance of a government is usually best in their first term. If the first
I
term of
agree.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu can be like this, if it has only profited the masses, if it has only profited the elite and it is against the masses, the governors have been earning more money, the politicians have been smiling, politicians are part of the people that ride the best cars, that live in the best house, the poverty, everything, subsidy, slam it on Nigeria, this one, slam it on Nigeria. I even heard that in Nigeria now, if you transfer money, they will deduct money from you. both the sender and
Yes.
the receiver.
Yes. Yes. That's
Is it
what's
true?
happening now. They call it
No,
electronic
so
transfer levy. Electronic transfer levy. Yes. I am
the bedu never
avoiding. I
enter.
am avoiding banking transactions now. It's painful to do banking
Somebody told me
transactions.
something.
And we
Somebody told me
never even
something that
understand where we did yet.
pressure. Somebody made a transaction of 50,000 naira. I just laughed. I said, I didn't even know what to say. I was just laughing. He said, transaction of 50,000. That when the 50,000 naira will enter his account, it's have turned to I think 49,964 naira. The
Yes.
receiver. He
Yes.
doesn't even, so he has to. The person will have to go and be looking for somebody to find 100 or 200 naira from
You never go
before the
buy
money
fuel.
can
I
enter.
don't go buy fuel for filling station where I give them card and then I say I won't buy 50,000 naira fuel. They add, in fact, they even add 150 naira set on top as bank charges
Well,
because they know
yes,
see the
yes.
commodity. We do that to
That's
you now. So
that's what
that's
I
the
heard
level
that
we are.
some of
And
these guys are doing that.
I don't know
Even if
why
you want
go ahead.
that, even if you want to use your POS, they will still charge you. And you want Nigeria to be for conducting its financial transactions electronically. So what I see is that except tomorrow, maybe the Bedu enter body well. You understand? And Nigerians now decide that no, we cannot take this. We are not going to take this. Then, see, Nigerian politicians are not hard. If you hold them by the jugular, and if Bola Ahmed Tinubu sees today that no dark politics, no political magomago can make him win except the support of the Nigerian people, trust me, right now Bola Ahmed Tinubu will start performing. I'm telling you, he will start
So
performing
that
instantly.
means right now, he never still done on I'm saying in done the suffer people.
He
You
doesn't
see the
want
color of
see.
love.
He's surrounded by psychophans. Mr. President, you are the best. See, they are what we call political jobbers. Mr. President, Nigerians are hailing you. You are the best thing that has ever happened to this. For instance, they'll go and give Bola Ahmed Tinubu the news yesterday. Now, Mr. President, for the good work. Oh, I wish I'm a good actor. I could have acted for you, but I'm not a good actor. Mr. President, we have good news for you. For the good work that you have done, for actualizing the renewed hope, for the transformation of the country, for what you have been doing. Nigeria so much believe in you, and it is manifesting. Your good work is manifesting. In Delta State, Mr. President, we are happy to announce to you that the political godfather of the state, the governor of the state, the deputy governor, the House of Assembly members, 25 of them, the local government chairman, all of them are now singing on your mandate. Then they will bring out that
Well, they
video
sang it
that
yesterday.
is on the social media and play it
That
for the
Obori was
president.
singing on
And
your
play it for the
mandate.
president and say, and there's a network. I can't hear you. Say that again.
No, where the governor of the state was singing on your mandate. Yeah. Just go ahead,
Yes,
sir.
they will now play it for the president and say, Mr. President, we are right behind you. You are doing good. Nigerians are praising you. And for a man like that, he would think that all what he's doing is right. But then, if I can make this assertion before I go, which is that, you see, all these people, at the end of the day, Bola Ahmed Tinubu will regret some of the things they are doing, because except if they are willing to be subjugated by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but now the lion that the lion that they are feeding, it will come back to hurt them, because at the end of the day, Bola Ahmed Tinubu will kind of like hold them by the jugular. He will suppress them. See, there is a repetition of what happened in Lagos now. If you look at it, when Bola Ahmed Tinubu came into Lagos, before you know it, there's no strong opposition in Lagos State today. That is the same template, almost the same template that is repeating at the federal level. Rather than go after, rather than go after Nigerians, create succor for them, make Nigerians love him, he's going after the structure. He's putting fire in the parties, he's winning them over, and at the end of the day, he will be a lord unto himself. He may impose another person on Nigeria in 2031 and write it down. So I just pity some people. You are a tailor. A political scientist will talk. You say, oh, what is this one saying? You are a tailor. And a political scientist that studied like that used all his life to study this thing, we make an assertion. You say, oh, he doesn't like the president. Quote me. If Bola Ahmed Tinubu is true, capturing all the necessary political structures, it will now go beyond Nigeria to see how he can be influencing election in Togo, Benin Republic, Guinea, Ivory Coast. Before you know it, Bola Ahmed Tinubu will have a presidential candidate that is backing in Togo. The time will come. May God not kill us. You will see it for yourself. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is power-oriented, not development-oriented. He's power-oriented, and power-oriented politicians in the history of politics all across the globe, give them power, they want more power. Give them more power, they want more power. give them extra power, they still want more power. Till they can be almost be competing with God himself. And that's why you see that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is, according to Tunde Bakare, has captured the National Assembly. He wasn't satisfied. He has captured the APC structure. Gandhi his boy is his chairman. He wasn't satisfied. He went after the structure of the PDP and Labour Party, according to some political stalwart, put fire in those parties, there's no peace. He still wasn't satisfied. He still wants more power. Now he's going after the governors, the political stalwarts in the state, and at the end of the day, when he have them, he still won't be satisfied. He will appoint the INEC chairman. He may lord himself over on Nigeria in 2027. He still will not be satisfied. Before you know it, he will move to Togo, he will move to Benin Republic, he will move to Ivory Coast, and ultimately 2031, he will impose somebody on the Nigerian people. Write this down. Save this tape. Say one Dr. Mosholade, the political scientist, made that assertion. May God not kill us. You will see what we have. So in terms of political abracadabra, it's great, it's perfect. But in terms of political and in terms of development, bringing about real development, the dividend of democracy, no. The Lagos that they are shouting, is it not the same Lagos that Ushe Ugwamaye, that copper said Lagos is smelly? Is that girl lying? Is Lagos developed? Have you been to Paris? Have you been to London?
All
Have
right,
you
so
been to Johannesburg?
Deji, very quickly, there are two things two people said. Deji and your namesake, said that Kwankwaso and P2P worked for Tinubu in 2023, and they will do it again in 2027. Say, what thing they do now to indirectly work to give Tinubu votes. And then Dele Momodu, they assert, say, the reason we make governors the camp now because of fear, make waiting happen to Fubara no happen to them, and say that they coax them. What would you kindly react to those very quickly? Or do you agree with them or disagree with them? I know I need to let you go. If you can just drop that thought and I let you go. Can you hear me, sir?
Said I could barely hear what you said. I could
Okay.
maybe you could just make it short, just repeat it.
Okay. I they
I
tell
could
you
barely
say
hear what you said.
Deji Adeyonju say President say Peter Obi and Kwankwaso worked in favor of Tinubu in 2023. And Dele Momodu 23, yes. Dele Momodu also said that the reason governors from PDP are decamping to APC now because of fear that those governors are scared and also coaction, that is, they're coaxing them, right? Would you agree with them or would you like to react to that briefly?
No, I mentioned it before. I just use like another language from their own. I mentioned the cookie jar. I mentioned sugar and the ant. I just use a very simple something that my viewers, even if you've never been to school in your
So
life,
that means Zelo
something
Momodu
that you
is
can
right. So let's
relate
hear you
to.
react to Deji Adeyanju. This assertion about
Uh,
Kwankwaso and P2P working for Tinubu.
no, I don't. Well, I agree to disagree in the sense that if he said they did so unconsciously or subconsciously, I can agree with him. So, unconsciously in the sense that they ignorantly did not know that if they don't unite, Bola Ahmed Tinubu will win, or subconsciously that they know, but they are just overconfident. Like, okay, Peter Obi knows that if Kwankwaso contests alone, Obi contests, Atiku contests alone, he knows that they may most likely lose. But then Obi still believe in himself. Obi still believe in his campaign. Obi still believe in his political structure. Same for Kwankwaso, same for Atiku. That is subconscious. So I can agree if we put it in the realm of unconscious and subconscious. But in terms of like that they kind of like want Bola Ahmed Tinubu to truly win. No, I
Okay,
disagree because if you look at if
Deji's
you look at
leading
that election,
his.
just this statement, if you look at that election, Obi was out to win, not to be a spoiler. Obi was out to win. Atiku was out to win. If anybody wants to be a spoiler, it will be Atiku. Atiku has been in this game since 1993. Some people watching me now, perhaps some of them are not even born by then. Atiku has been running to be president since the days of MKO. Some people don't know, and that's why I labeled Atiku a veteran contestant. They are even supposed to give him a medal, gold medal, not brass, not gold, in fact, diamond, veteran contestant of the universe. Atiku has been on this presidency, and Atiku is still scheming. If they don't hold him well, if they don't drag him and say, no, Baba, sit down there, he will still contest in 2027. So Atiku cannot play the game for Bola Ahmed Tinubu to win. No, it's either Atiku believes in himself He believes in a structure. He believes that the abysmal performance of Buhari will make him to win. But the article knows, or he wants Bola Tinubu. Let me put it that the article truly wants Tinubu to win. I disagree. That Peter Obi truly wants Tinubu to win. I disagree. But I can agree if you are saying that unconsciously and subconsciously, but that they consciously want Tinubu to be president, I disagree. Because even the evidence speaks for itself. If Atiku played the game of a spoiler or Peter Obi, look at the things they were digging out about the man. Do you know how much Atiku spent in US for that drug case, all this revelation? When Atiku saw that, oh, the election is done and dusted, Atiku went all out to finish Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In fact, to shred him to pieces. If Bola Ahmed Tinubu, if Nigeria were to be a sane country like other Western countries, Bola Ahmed Tinubu would have voluntarily resigned because the public outcry against him would be so massive. Atiku
Okay.
went all out. Atiku spent
Dr. Deji,
his, in fact, now
your
I
time
think
is
Atiku
fast
would be
spent.
broke. If they say
Your
Atiku is
time is
broke
fast
now, I
spent.
won't doubt it.
Okay,
Sincerely, because he went all out.
Deji Dayan just said that he said that because he says that Obi would have not left PDP. He would have worked together with Atiku. That for you to be sure that Obi is working for Tinubu, that he will not agree to join any coalition, because but that he knows that he cannot win by himself. So why not join a coalition? So for Obi to reject joining a
Good question.
coalition, that
Good
means
question.
that means
Good
he's
question.
indirectly just dividing other opposition votes to help Bola Ahmed Tinubu win. I think that's the calculation he
Good
made.
question. Now, Obi may not join a coalition, like I said, if he so much believes in himself. If he so much believes in himself, he won't want to join any coalition. Don't forget that there are always political psychophants. So there are people that will be telling me you are the best. There are people that will be joining their mouth. Your Excellency Peter Obi, you get this vote here, merge it together, minus this, subtract this, this is the permutation. There are a lot of non-professional, or should I say emergency or social media political scientists everywhere that they'll just be joining all these fake permutations. They're everywhere, and some of these politicians, if you look around them, you won't find, you barely find any even political scientists around them. Some of them believe in the power of money, some private militia, some for some, mago mago and all that. So there may be people that would have convinced him about his winning, and that is the way I see it. But that Peter Obi does not want to be president, that is just doing it to favor Tinubu. No, I still disagree. I see that
Thank you, Dr. Deji.
consciously.
Let me let you
Okay.
run. Thank you. I know that your time is fast spent. You're supposed to do an hour. You've done an hour 30 minutes. Emma Binusa, forgive me. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for chiming in on this conversation. I appreciate you deeply. Please, guys, help me go and follow Dr. Deji. Dr.
What
Deji has his own YouTube. Dr. Deji get YouTube where they drop thoughts. They drop lyrics every time. Go to Polythink with Omoshola Deji. Polythink with
No,
Omoshola Deji.
even
Go for make it go drop
Even if
thoughts.
they just start for Dr. Moshaladeji, they will see my
You
name.
go see
I
him
think
there.
it's
You go
Dr.
see him there.
Moshaladeji and Apolitics on board. Even if they start, they will see my name. But what I can say is, if Nigerians truly love themselves, if they love their children, this is not the time to be politically passive. You see, the way you love your child and you want your child to get A in school, also, all these politicians are accountable. Nobody hates Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I've said it before. Personally, as a person, as an individual, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has never done anything to wrong me in my life. I'm saying it publicly. He has never, personally. And if you
So
look
all
at
these
the
policies
article,
no wrong you as a person. All these
if you look
policies they
at,
never
no,
affect you
I'm coming,
before.
no, I'm saying that personally, that
Okay.
one-on-one, he has never, and if you look at it, if
He
they are
doesn't have to
rating,
hurt you
like,
one on one now. It's his
I'm
policies
coming,
that will
man. I'm
hurt you.
coming. I'm coming. And if you
Okay.
are rating Nigeria now, if people decide to keep quiet, I have a better reason to be keep quiet because I'm not the best, but I'm still better than a lot of people. And should I tell you the truth, Precious? I'm saying this thing publicly. It takes someone with a bold heart to speak out, to speak the truth, or to speak against this government because this government is willing to go all out to buy anybody buy evil. And that is why you will see that most people would rather speak in favor of the government because it pays for you to speak in favor of the government. You get money. At the end of the day, you get appointment.
If they
At the
even
end of
buy
the day,
yourself, you
I'm
get
coming,
luck
I'm
now.
coming,
If not
I'm
be the
listening.
indirect
Please,
way. Okay.
I'm listening. At the end of the day, you get protection. At the end of the day, you'll be moving with, who is who, the political influential people and all that. So if a DG that has a PhD in political science, that has his 3 degrees from 3 different continents, is coming out to speak the truth. Do you think Deji is a fool? Deji doesn't know how to roll with politicians. There are some things that I can't say on air, that I just can't say it on air. So if people are saying the truth, It's for the benefit of some of you. It doesn't cost me to follow Bola Ahmed Tinubu tomorrow. I have nothing to gain. It's everything to, I have nothing to lose. It's everything to gain. But when they choose to be upright, try and encourage those people. And when they are telling you, they are not telling you that hate Tinubu. No, just let him be accountable, just so that some of the pain that you go through, your children will not go through it as well. Bola Ahmed Tinubu has not done. If he remains the president of Nigeria to 2040, that's his own. That is, before the suffer get to me, he could don't almost kill so many people before he could get to me. So it's just nobody hates Tinubu, nobody hates Obi, nobody hates Atiku, nobody hates any of these guys. But then government should do the real thing, which is security of lives and property. We can look at what happened in Plateau. Look at what happened in Plateau. So if I come out now to speak against what happened in Plateau as a president, you cannot say. Let me give you an example. Google it. Ukraine. The president of Ukraine, Zelensky, was not in Ukraine. He was in one country. I've not read the full story. Now, there was just an attack on Ukraine. He cut short the trip because Russia.
Not be the first now. So it's not
yes,
thing for
Russia just threw a missile in Ukraine. He had to already cut short that trip. That is what means. It means when you are a valuable citizen. That is what it means when your president respects you. That is what it means when power truly belongs to the people. So nobody is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but that people are dying in Plateau State, and some of them are the people that vote for you, and you sit down in Paris, and before you know it, from Paris you go to London, and you are coming back at your own time, and some sycophants, some political jobbers will now line themselves up, and be shaking your hands. That can only happen in Nigeria. And so long as you are not willing to kind of like tell government that this is the right thing to do, I'm not saying you shouldn't enjoy your life. Enjoy your life, but let there be a little bit of succumb for Nigerians. To the glory of God, I thank God for my life. I thank God for your life. 10 billion in Aso Rock. I have the video on my tape where Bola Ahmed Tinubu is saying that there will be constant electricity. If there's no constant electricity, don't vote me for second term. Okay, do you now agree that by your word, Nigerians should not vote for you? So there's no light for Nigerians. And you see, when I touch on these things, I can go on and on and on. I read the argument of Reno Omokri. Send him an invite.
Send him an invite. Don't
mind
that one. That one afterthoughts. Don't mind
them. You are a journalist. Send him an invite.
I don't like talking to him. I don't even like addressing him.
Send him an invite to come for a debate with me. Send Reno Omokri, if you are watching this, come for a debate. All those others say that, US is using it.
Somebody will really maintain in word. 1 minute he talks about Bola Ahmed Tinubu na drug dealer. The next minute he support
US is using solar. France is using solar. All this and that. You see, Reno. Let me use this as my parting shot. You see, I like when people shine. I have no business with Reno. Reno is dwelling in the midst of averagely intelligent and low-class intelligent people. You see, if you are dwelling in the midst of those people, and they are in government, they form majority of the population, you go they shine. You go shine pieces. But there are some people, there are some 1 or 2 people that they are silent. But when they look at you, when they read your argument, when they read your assertion, instantly as they are reading it, because these are authorities in this field, they are pointing out, see, he can only do it to Peter Obi because Peter Obi doesn't have good material. If he can do it to Atiku because he doesn't have good material. If Peter Obi or Atiku have good material, if they fire Reno Omokri once or twice,
good assistance.
God. For instance, let me just give me 1 minute. For instance, this electricity song, I'm saying it publicly. You can go to his page to read it. He said, Nigerians, the electricity, the solar, Nigerians have 2 concerns.
They said it's a good thing. Say that renewable energy. Say the whole world go towards renewable energy.
Nigerians have 2 concerns: cost and availability. Those were the major concerns of Nigerians. The cost, 10 billion naira. Then availability in terms of they don't have electricity. Government exists for the people. So the 2 concerns of Nigerians were cost and availability. Now, when Reno is to put forward his lame argument for the Tinubu government, he went to the United States to say, oh, the US is using it, and the UK, their presidency is also using it. You have forgotten that the US is using it as an alternative, not as a reliance. Their seat of power doesn't have problem. The citizens have electricity. And US is using it as a role model to also preach about green energy to the people. It's a form of marketing. It's a form of letting green energy to gain acceptability to the people. Reno Omokri addressed the issue of cost, but he didn't address the one of availability, which is that where I expect Reno, if I am a reviewer, if what Reno wrote is an essay, and I am to score him as an academic, if I happen to be his supervisor, and that's what is, and that's why it's always good to be well grounded. If you don't know it, you don't know it. You know, where he finished the Tinubu government in that his argument is he talked about cost. He kind of like made a crude argument, but he never talked about availability. I expect that as a defender of the government, I haven't tried to defend the government, I haven't polished the policy in the eyes of the Nigerian people, then you will now address what concerns Nigerians the most, which is that product being available. Okay, this is now the step that the Tinubu government has taken. This is the step that the government will take. In the next 10 years, this is the level of what that will be available. If this level of what is available and the power sector has been decentralized and it is truly a perfect competitive market, just as we have Glo, we have MTN, we have LTL, if this exists in the power sector, then if you are paying 1,000 naira, for example, per kilowatt or something, in the next 5 years, the force of the market in a perfect competitive market will bring down the price because there will be greater supply, and that will bring down the price, and that will lead to a reduction in what you will pay for the goods and services, and you will have better services. Also, this is what government is doing in terms of solar availability. See, if you see, that's why I said Reno is operating among averagely intelligent
So, but
and
you did
low
mention
intelligent
something.
people.
You mentioned something.
Precious,
Say you mentioned something now,
Precious,
Doctor
you are
Didi.
a
Make a first
journalist.
get you now. Don't they talk
Precious,
since
you are
no
a
vex.
journalist.
Doctor Didi, you mentioned say I know they talk
Reno
to
to
them.
this
I know they talk
platform
to them.
for a debate.
I know they talk to them. You mentioned say
No, you can
Obi
invite him.
and Atiku no be better material. I mean they no get better material. What do you mean by that? Now say they no get
Say that
good.
again.
You be
No, they
mentioned
don't
say
have good aides. They don't have good
okay. That's what
assistants.
you're saying. Okay.
See, go to
Hey, do
Reno's
a business a
page.
big big
See,
bass
go to,
boost. Bass
sorry,
boost.
Precious. Precious, Reno is shining every day. Peter Obi, for God's sake, you want to be a presidential material. You are a presidential material. You want to rule over this country and one Reno with average intelligence. I'm not saying it privately. I'm saying it publicly. They can go and play the tape to him. And one Reno with average intelligence is now using you to shine every day when there are some good materials that you can find everywhere in Nigeria. Nigeria have millions of intelligent people. In fact, if I'm the brother of Peter Obi, if I'm the blood brother of Peter Obi, the way I know I've been using him to shine. If Peter Obi does not sack all his aides, I will fight him as my brother because they are not
Thank you, Doctor
because
Deji. Thank you so
sorry
much.
ma.
Make our open
If I
phone
look
lines.
at sorry
Nigerians
ma,
they wait to jump
sorry ma.
in.
If I look at the submission, the total submission of Reno Mokri, and I cannot pick out any flaw in it, then I'll say, oh, okay, it's okay. But when it brings out some of these things against Atiku, against Peter Obi, see, this government is the easiest to shred to pieces. There are some things that, see, we are even still reserved as a political scientist. I have great respect for the president. If I really want to come out and say I want to tackle the president, see me, I won't tackle you. I will tackle you with fact figures. I'm a political scientist. You can't take it away from me. Take
Thank
me
you.
to engineering, I will fail. Take me to tailoring, I will fail. But this political science thing,
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Deji. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Nigerians, please, the world, kindly help me follow him on his YouTube handle at Polythink with Omoshila Deji. Dr. Deji, I appreciate you greatly. I'd like to move to other conversations now. Open the phone line for my people to jump in on the conversation. Let me free you. Thank you so much, Dr. Deji. God bless you. Big time. Thank you so much and do enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, sir. All right, Nigerians, let me quickly give you a recap of some conversations we've had today, very quickly. And then before you go fit, begin join the conversation. Kai, this pidgin English sometimes that's how good they do on back and forth. Okay, so part Utomi to mobilize 7.2 million people to Abuja to reclaim Nigeria from the elite. Said they won't take back our country. Right. And Kwankwaso, we wake up this morning to hear the news say Kwankwaso visits President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for inside France when he be in France. Don't visit him again as he come back to Nigeria. Come they talk of political alliance. And we they hear say President Tinubu may likely make Kwankwaso his vice president. Removing Shetima for one corner because of the vote where be say Kwankwaso they gather for inside Kano State. That's not the talk. So what thing will come happen to Ganduje? That no matter for another day, and we don't also address and you can go back and watch the earlier, fast forward or backward. Kwankwaso Obi works for Tinubu in 2023. We'll do it again in 2027. At the end, June, they talk that one. Governors joining APC out of fear, coaction. Delu Momodu Nigeria said so. 2027, all states in southern Nigeria will vote for Tinubu's re-election. Hey, they say all states for southern Nigeria go vote for Tinubu re-election. As a matter of fact, they say Tinubu don't they tighten his grip because as we talk to you right now, so he don't they do everything necessary to make sure say he capture all southern states. All southern states. They say 2027, Tinubu tightens grip on southeast, south, of course, southwest, they pocket already, in gale of defections. Now be small matter. Okay, now make we see as it go be. Tinubu should be prudent in spending Nigeria's money. Oh, IMF don't they shout the advice am oh. Make they spend Nigeria money finish. Oh, no, they spend that like next of kin. Oh, 2027. Buba Galadima, a paperweight, Ganduje's aide fires back at Buba Galadima, right? But this one, Buba Galadima or Ghana or Kwankwaso one deport, maybe he go begin sing the praises of Ganduje now. Lagos State Local Council Chairman, we been get Lagos State Local Council Vice Chairman candidate, we been get mind to contest election, come comot for the position because of waiting. Speaker Mudashiru Obasason we won't contest, so he withdraw for Speaker Mudashiru Obasason. So Lagos State politics don't become family affair now. That's what some people are saying. Then there's an exclusive about how terrorist group Mahmouda they plan to escape to Benin Republic through Kwara border communities, and so security sources don't talk. Other conversations we don't get to. Despite past fraud cases, Tinubu government to relaunch troubled school feeding program by May 29. That is that school feeding way Buhari do, even though say during he do the school feeding even during COVID-19 during lockdown they say he do school feeding well despite all that fraud race around them. We hear say Tinubu government won't continue to do them again. And speaking about economy insecurity, Nigeria safer. Nigeria they very safe for investment to Minister of Finance they do don't they call investors come on bring your money because we did very safe for investment and they don't talk say the NNPC go undergo forensic auditing very soon. That's what Wale Edusef don't talk. And I told you earlier that Rivers State Sole Administrator Ibas, the attend National Economic Council meeting right now from inside Aso Rock, as chaired by Vice President Kashim Shetima and others. Well, this is not the matter that we would attend to. Make open phone lines and make we begin take our calls. You can also click on the link by the pinned post to join the conversation. There is a pinned post. I don't highlight them here now. If you go to the comment section, there's a link on it. Kindly click it to join the conversation. Hello, good afternoon and welcome.
Precious, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Very well, crystal clear. I can.
I'm calling from the United Kingdom. See,
thank you.
Precious, I listened to Dr. Moshola
Deji. Okay.
So many things I want to say, but I have to keep it short.
Would you like to start by telling me your name, please?
Oh, my name is Laura.
Laura,
calling
you're welcome.
from the UK.
You're welcome, Laura. Go ahead.
Thank you. So you see, this whole political thing just makes me laugh. We're just 2 years into this government, and you can see the mess. It's both a bitter and a sweet. I supported Obi in the last election. Let me put that in straight away. Any normal human being who was raised in a family where your parents are not bastards, where your parents have values, where your parents worked for their money, they did not steal to survive, they did not steal to provide for you, they sent you to good schools, they lived within their means. Every reasonable such person tried to support another candidate other than Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Like someone said on Arise TV, I think a week ago, the person said, Bola Tinubu is a character of ill repute. He's a man of ill repute.
Yes. Say no go fit support him. I still get him.
He's in every way. This man, I was talking to a hairdresser yesterday, and I said, from when this man was a youth, he's lived a life of criminality. I've not said he's a criminal, but he's lived that life. He's embodied everything that is wrong in Nigeria. He has embodied it. You know, you were saying a few things to Dr. Deji, and I feel, because I want to make sure I'm respectful to your guest, I feel like he was truthful, but by half a mile. in the sense that he keeps saying, oh, Tinubu this, oh, Tinubu that, he's the best things in sliced bread, he can do this, he can do that. But he should have put a caveat. He can do that because of the terrain. If I will borrow the reigning word terrain, know your terrain. He should caveat all of this because if Tinubu was somewhat a political figure in a developed and a sane climate, he will not be able to do all of this. Look at every evil that Trump has tried to do. He suspends this person, Supreme Court overturns it. He does this, court overturns that, because that is a society where there are
so there are checks and balances. Yes.
Good. Now, everything that he did in Lagos is what he's going to try and repeat. The man can't do better. Right from when he was a young child, all he's done is...
But to be fair to my guest, my guest only said that you understand political sophistry, but he does not know leadership and governance. That he doesn't know how to govern.
He knows it. See, it's one thing to know something, it's another thing to be criminally minded. See, Tinubu is not a narcissistic person. He's beyond narcissistic. There are three categories of people who they are not capable. They have a mental illness. If you go and watch Dr. Ramani on YouTube, she's a qualified psychologist. There's this cycle. I can't remember the right word. Three wheels to the cycle of mental. These people that have a level of mental depravity, they are incapable of experiencing human empathy. They are not capable. Therefore, anytime you see them show what looks like empathy to anybody, it is transactional. There are many like that. They are in Nigeria. They are all over the world. There are people who are very narcissistic in nature. But if you see them do anything for anybody, it is because they want to draw back on that favor in the future. See, you were correct when you said to Dr. Deji that the people, Oborawori, who is my governor, and all the people who are decamping Ukowa, all of that, it's not because Tinubu is a political juggernaut. No, people are decamping and all that. One, if you have baggage that ESCC can use against, that Bola Tinubu can use ESCC to use against you, you will give in to him. Number two, Oborawori and Co., they can see the percentage that APC got. Maybe they got like 30-something% the last time. And with Tinubu and what he has done in Rivers State and what he has done in Edo State, you can see very clearly that there is no way to Aso Rock for Tinubu without every of the 17 South states. If he loses one state in the South, it is done for. For that reason, and you know that this man is criminal, satanic, and demonic. Tinubu the devil does not play fair. Tinubu is not planning to conduct an election. He will act like he's conducting an election. He just needs the Nigerian populace to participate, and he will do what he wants to do. I am among those few people who believe that the way out, I don't know about 2027, but the way out is that march. Tinubu is still struggling for legitimacy since the main election. He knows he's not liked. He doesn't plan to contest an election. He doesn't plan to campaign. He doesn't plan to debate. That is why you don't even see him bothering. Since he came back to the country, have you seen him try to visit anything?
Laura, people are requesting that you join the link here. They want to see you live. They want you to have this conversation with me.
No, I don't want to put my face on because
all right.
I'm not one of those. I don't like all this baby politics. So I'm sorry. The one I like, I'm upset to the opposition, and I've said it on different forums.
It's tiring.
The real opposition that Tinubu gave to people. See, Precious, yes, please. Let's put up all this talk we do on YouTube. Let's go in depth to what Bola Tinubu did when he was in the opposition. You said there's one thing I would clap for Tinubu for.
Oh, he's a great opposition. He's a great opposition. He does. In fact, I believe that he's a better opposition than playing the main party. Yes.
But if you say I should rank him, I will give him A++ in opposition. A++. From the Financial Times of London think of any solid foreign paper abroad when Tinubu was in the opposition.
Yes.
He gave it to Obasanjo, fire for fire.
Yes.
When Obasanjo said, don't create LCDs in Lagos State, he did it. There is nothing, he put fire under the, was it Obasanjo? Was it Jonathan? Was it Yar'Adua's government? He gave it to them fire for fire. He plays opposition. He understands the assignment when it comes to opposition. And you know, people say Tinubu is this. No, I see a fearful man. He knows what worked against him. If one protest is successful in Nigeria, Tinubu is gone. One. There's something that Baba Ahmed said on that Arise program a few weeks back.
Yeah, which of the things?
He said 1,000 people are coming out for something that 1 million people should have come
Absolutely,
out for.
Yes.
Simple. People keep saying this man is Maradona, is this rubbish? Go and look at the history of dictators. It is more the case that we are cowards than that he's a brilliant guy. No. Put him in Burkina Faso and the 36-year-old guy that is a military man there will floor him in politics. Yes. It is just a reflection of our docility, our selfishness, our tribalism, our individualism. If you don't affect me, don't concern me. It is just, Tinubu is a mirror image of Nigerians. If you want to know who the average Nigerian is, you don't need a mirror. Take Tinubu, put him in front of you.
I don't like that. I don't like that assertion. I usually don't like that because I hate to believe that a Tinubu or a Buhari is a reflection of who I am. I always don't like that statement. Honestly speaking.
Not you as an individual, but the majority, a sizable majority, too sizable for any democracy to succeed. Let me give you an example. Let me tell you how very corrupt we are as a people. Because I sit down and I think through these things. Let me give you an example. Colombia, the country called Colombia, is known as one of the most corrupt nations on the earth, especially in its continent, South America. Colombia is extremely corrupt. And then they had this drug dealer called Pablo Escobar. He has been doing through a judge from the helicopter in the air. He had judges under his payroll. He did and undid. One day, this man felt, I have enough money, now I need power. And he decided to contest to become president of Colombia. He did everything in his power. The people of Colombia said, no, we are corrupt, we know.
But not to
the extent of allowing a drug dealer take over our country. The fact that Bola Tinubu could win a primary in Nigeria, did he force anybody? No. He paid his way to win that ticket. In a primary where you had Professor Yemi Oshibanju, in a primary where you had Pastor Tunde Bakare, I'm not saying all of these people are spectacular and they are no all and be all, but I'm saying if that primary was held in Ghana, Tinubu will not win. If that primary was held in Burkina Faso, in Benin Republic, they are corrupt, but they are not rotting. We are rotting.
Hey, Laura.
That he could win. I'm sorry, Precious. Maybe not you and me, because if it's you and me, we will not be here talking and speaking like this with passion. But it is a reflection of how rotten the average Nigerian. There is an article that Richard Branson wrote many years ago. I read it. He was complaining that in the end he had to sell Nigeria Airways when he took it and was calling it Nigeria, Virgin Nigeria, and was going to turn it around. He said every government official wanted a free ticket. And what was shocking him was that it was the wealthy, it was the already rich people, it was the already...
But that's how Nigeria functions. The poor never really asks for anything. Now always the rich.
You are valuing what I say we are.
But it's painful. It's painful to be believing these things now. You know, they understand. It is pain to believe them. You know, they understand my point. It is pain me to the belief saying
I understand you, and two of us are saying the same thing. I'm saying what we say, that is how Nigeria functions, is an anomaly, which is in other nations, which is why Ghana has conducted 2-3 successful elections with where the people's vote has counted, because it is now how Nigeria functions. This is now our way of life. We are rotting and we don't know. You need to come and live in another clime For you to understand, say we be like fish when it don't rot in the smell.
So Laura, what can we do now? See, you see this pain that you feel. This pain that you feel is the reason I thought to start political conversation in pidgin English, because I feel say the gap waiting make it like say we know they very politically enlightened for Nigeria. Now because of the communication gap. They feel like say, oh, the grammar, oh, they use present time, or the language of communication in politics is too much. So now waiting make me begin pidgin English. So now waiting make so waiting we go fit do again. Now waiting at the ask. Because if this talk where will they talk not they enough, how we go use enlighten people? What we go fit do? Make them know say we not deserve what we get.
Precious, so many people they say enlightenment. Yes, there is the responsibility of we get responsibility to enlighten our people. But I tell you, say we know our people know the difference between good and bad. Look, you see Edo State when they do Edo State governorship election, we don't say APC rig am, but the people participate in that rigging. The 10,000 when them collect and the 5,000 when them collect. Now part of the corruption when I say we corrupt, because the giver of bribe and the collector of bribe,
all of them they come
both of them
the same thing.
train. Somebody saying that because of poverty. Poverty no dey Ghana. The excruciating poverty they many Africa. You don't go Senegal, make you see how the people poorish, make you see how backward many of their places stay. But those people in their last election, they voted for someone who came out from prison just a week ago, although that party and those individuals were known to them. Precious, you asked me a question. You said, what will be the way forward?
Yes.
Let me tell you what will be the way forward. Many people, they come your station, they go arise, they go everywhere, and well done, you are doing a good job. And people, they talk, say, oh, coalition, this, that. I don't say those ones no deal. If we do pie chart, those ones are the smaller part of the pie chart. The bigger part of the pie chart is the courage to step out. What be the difference between us and the Senegalese people? Now the courage to step out. Why be say Senegal don't get 60 years of unbroken democracy? Now, not be because presidents no try to extend second term to become third term. They do them. Everything when you see them, they test for Nigeria. Their politicians tested the system in Senegal. Presidents will come that will test your political system. Trump is testing the American political system right now. But when politicians come office and they tested our political system, it failed. You know why? When the last president, when he did under the control of France for Senegal, want to extend election by whether 1 month or 2 weeks, they do many wrong things when not they constitutional. When he take and go court, when he announce them, the announcer, the people they hit the street, bam. He go announce another thing, the people go hit the street, he go push back. But as they do for parliament, the people they respond instantly on the streets. See South Korea, but make I not go South Korea. When you see a president, a big prime minister that try to act outside of his power, middle of night, 9 people take here, street, bam, instant. I tell you, Tinubu is they say you know what a man fears by what he uses to scare you. Tinubu is not the person when he fear protest pass. Because you know, saying a protest in take remove other people. See, when the Nigerian politicians they test things, when they don't see response, equal. I go federal government college, you get what we talk. We say equal and opposite reaction. Tinubu go misbehave, 1,000 people go enter street. That is not an equal and opposite reaction. When they give us back, we the people go respond for the street. En masse, boom. Look at the things when people don't respond, whether Tinubu no respond. Ordinary 30 days rant, when that girl come out, talk of NYSC.
They begin pay them their allowing 70,000 sharp. Even at 7,000 on top.
The courage of our conviction. Because people say that they fear to die in a lie. Make I tell you why we say in a lie. Look at the number of people who don't commit suicide. Nigerians no fear death. If they fear death, people know they jump bridge. They jump almost every day. You open Nigerian media, somebody don't take a life. Why hardship? See, now the courage say, let us get up and face them. And when you grow for country where you say the culture now to get up and respond. You see those people you see those young people when they respond last year for Senegal, they grew up when they're age 4, age 5, seeing their parents as younger adults, they hit the streets. So it became a culture. That means say it become their way of life. Say, president do this, They know they're half as educated as us to an extent. But as the president, they don't train them from small. Say, as democracy can only thrive when you defend it. And the last defense of democracy is the common man. Every day they write for the WhatsApp group when I did for UK, say, you people are too docile. If people are at home are afraid, what of us in the UK? Call for a protest when Dele Farotimi was in prison. I called for a protest here. Everybody for UK, for Nigeria, they sit down. For UK here, they sit down. Nobody moved. You see this point? This, if you don't touch my family, no concern me. I don't feel any empathy for loss of Nigerians again. When they say this one did not happen to this one, I just turn my face, because until we come together with the courage of our conviction, you people will know that Tinubu is only the way it is because of us. Simple. You don't get any other thing. There is nothing spectacular. There is nothing Maradonish. Nothing. There is nothing. He is that way. And when I saw Dr. Moshola Deji speaking, I felt bad in a way. You know why? As he was speaking, I saw the reason why Tinubu has been able to hold down Lagos. I'm about to say something that will sound tribalistic, but you cannot say so because half my family is Yoruba. Yes, I'm from Delta, but half my family is Yoruba. Listen, I don't want to use the word cowardice, but I don't want to use the word timidity, rather I'll call it cowardice. This yes sir mentality, that is why Tinubu feel capture the whole of Lagos. I can see it now. The way the average Yoruba man just fall for ground, the roof, no courage, no heart to stand. Every minute you go open social media for Nigeria. Hey, women must submit to their husband. Women must do this. You see, we are like Zimbabwe. Two of us we did the same boat. We don't use religion, and I'm a very religious person. But inside that same Bible, every time when Israel faced enemy, God let them say, "Get up and face them." If they beat your pikin every day for school, they go school, go defend. And one day you go tell your pikin, say, "You don't be mumu, get up and fight." Until see, we will be like Zimbabwe until we get up. See the Zimbabwean people. If you open Zimbabwean blog, you open Nigerian blog, you go think say the same two, the two of them are the same country. Every day, na man and woman fight. This person take this one girlfriend. This foolishness because the men have given up. The men no get courage to start. The only thing when they do Nigeria now, na lack of courage. The courage to get up as 1 million people, 2 million people say, if we perish, we perish. The fear of death, when people say that they fear, more people have died since the 2023 election from kidnappings, from bad governance, from Boko Haram,
insecurity,
from Lakurawa,
bandits,
that would have died if we went to the government. In an uprising of 10 million people, 5 million people, 2 million people, the government cannot kill more than 2%. Before there will be an international outcry. They cannot kill more. There's something that Baba Ahmed said so that I can round up so that people can get him. He said it would have been very easy to overturn that nonsense that INEC announced in 2023.
Yes, if people had come out. I had played that. I don't know if you've been watching me. I deliberately cut that excerpt of those things. No, I deliberately cut that excerpt and I played them repeatedly. In fact, I think I played that thing he said more than twice. I play it where he said that if people had
said all they need, there's only 3 things they were watching that they needed to do. One, they needed Nigerians to hit the streets and stay there. Even if you have to go away at night to prevent killings and come back in morning and go and come back. One, we needed to get on the streets. Only a few people did it. 2, all he needed to do was the people who are contending that they won would have flown to Washington, which is him and Obi. One of them would have flown to Washington, D.C. to lobby. And the third thing was to fly to Addis Ababa, so having to do with the African Union, to lobby. And it just takes the international community saying, no, this needs to be a rerun. Because we know that Tinubu did not get up to 5 million votes. He lost woefully. He did not. According to PDP's returning officers, so their polling unit staff from each of the locations, APC got about 90-something thousand votes. PDP got about 150,000 votes in Lagos State. Labour Party got over 1 million votes based on PDP polling unit officers. Which means in Lagos State that Tinubu has been claiming that he owns Lagos. PDP is Lagos is an APC state.
Oh, he was flawed in Lagos. Even in his polling units, even in Bodilon, he lost in Bodilon. You know, Yaram.
So
He
if you
lost in
look at
body
it,
loan.
he didn't get up to 10% of the vote. If you add the 1 million that Labour Party got, add the 150 that you get to about 1,250,000 votes, which means 10% would have been 125,000. He could not get 10% of the votes. That just tells you that all these 24 years that he's been declaring himself and his puppet winners, it is because of the cowardice of the average Yoruba person. To find somebody that will stand up. Why did they kill Funshaw Williams? This man doesn't have the capacity to stand up and face the electorate. That is why he's using EFCC, he's using everything to pressurize governors. And the only governors he can pressurize are those governors who have been stealing. And he's using EFCC and other things to pressurize them. Fubara has EFCC case. Okowa has EFCC case. It's only the people who beholden to him that he can use it against. Edo State, he needs the entire South. And he lost it. He lost the South. There is no state in the South that Tinubu got to 10% beyond.
And that is the question. That is why I ask again that if as he be saying they gather these governors now, it go help them win the election because the governors go change the mind of their people. How the governors go use do their abracadabra where their people go use vote for them. I understand. No. You don't understand me. I understand. Say their plan and make the governors them, help and rig election, right results as they do. But how will Nigerians decide to cope with that against their own will in the midst of this suffering and agony they're going through? That now wait to make me ask the that question what I asked at that time. Yes, please.
Precious, I hear your question. Now, this is my answer. The governors are not necessarily there to help him rig. He just needs their cooperation to create an atmosphere of, the South is with me. When I will go to the South and I'm doing campaigns, the governor is already on my side. The international communities, they are all over Abuja, they are watching, they're all over the world, they are watching. Let me create an illusion of, I have support. He knows he doesn't have the support. What can the people do? It's simple. Well before what Pastor Tunde is doing, well before the elections. For me, I really don't look forward to the elections. You can't conduct an election with Bola Tinubu and expect he doesn't need you to vote. He just participate. He doesn't need, even if people just come out on the street that day and play football, as long as the international media can cover people coming from their house, going to a police station, if only 5% of people can vote and go, that's all. Tinubu will write what he wants to write. He's that much of a criminal. They say, he's probably this. He's very intelligent. No. Yes, he's an intelligent man, but he's nothing but a common criminal. All his tendency. Tinubu cannot play fair. You cannot put him in the. You see, Speedality can talk from now till next year. Put him in the ring. Akpi, fight. Tinubu is like Akpi. He cannot fight. So he has to use criminality because he's a criminally minded human being. He is a man of ill repute. So he has to use that to create an illusion, to oppress. Listen,
Precious.
Tony Arayomi gave a prophecy that's very true. Before the elections, he was predicting that Tinubu was going to steal the election. He said he had a dream. And in the dream, he saw Nigeria post 2023 elections. He saw a lineup of people. And if anybody dares to speak, Tinubu, he said he saw a hand. The hand looked like that of a demon. The demon, what's the name of this? And these old animals that are now extinct. Tyrannosaurus or dinosaurs or what? Dinosaurs. And the person, if anybody's complaints on the line, this hand that was holding the slippers will use the slippers to beat the person into submission. The person will fall back into the line. And one or two people tried to speak, and that hand took the slippers and beat those people, and they stayed back in line. This was before 2023 election. He said he was looking in the dream, and later he got to see that the person who owned this really dry, rickety, dinosaur-looking hands were Tinubu. He said the figure looks like Tinubu, and he was saying that why are these people afraid of this man? He's so old and so frail. And eventually, in his dream, in the dream he saw, he said he used one finger to push this thing that looked like Tinubu, and it fell down, and like a pot of clay pot, and the thing just as it fell on the floor, it just cracked into pieces. See, they say you know what a man is afraid of by what he uses to scare you. Tinubu fears protest. That is why when you see 5 women, 10 women in faraway Niger State in Suleja gathering together saying, these are just ragtag women that Obasa just time in Jonathan's and nobody will, 10 women want to gather in one market, waiting concern me. Nobody will take a look at it. But the smallest possible gathering of people to protest, Tinubu is already shaking. Why? He knows what he did to remove other people from office. He knows how he stirred up sentiment. Tinubu, the one thing Tinubu is, he's not afraid of his political opponents. He's afraid of the people. Because he knows that if you stir sufficient enough people, he knows what will happen to him. Look at the way he arrested those children from the north. The guy was afraid for himself. Because if 5 million people hit the street back to back for 3 days, Tinubu will be running out that skelter. Look at what Baba Ahmed said when he said if Nigerians had come on the streets, they would have gone to Addis Ababa, they would have gone to Washington, D.C. to lobby. That is exactly what APC did. Do we remember that right after the election, where there was still a lot of contention after they had declared him, what did Lai Mohammed do? He went straight to
Yes.
DC, to Washington,
Yes.
D.C. for lobby.
Yes.
The exact thing that would have happened was, as they were lobbying in DC, the people who claimed they won the election would have been lobbying in DC.
Thank you so much, Laura. So for me, till tomorrow, I blame Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi for the condition that we are. I'm sorry that I had to blame them because if they had given not just the marching order, but if they had given the body language during that, from that international conference center when the result was being reeled out, at that period that Dino Melaye started raising alarm about the falsification of the results. Now that period, now that period was supposed to do something. We're not supposed to let Mahmoud finish that calling that result. Nigerians will not let them finish to call that result. But it's very unfortunate, So
You see this thing you said, Peter.
that's why I said with Atiku. That's why I said with Atiku. I know that P2B is careful because Igbos are soft targets in Nigeria. Anything where you do, they don't call Igbo, they don't accuse you. They don't say that you want to destabilize Nigeria. And it's easy to use them as soft target. But how about Atiku? Atiku did not also act. Okay.
Precious.
Yes,
In
please.
1 minute, for that protest to be valid, none of the contestants should call it, because there is a number 2 and there is a number 3, both contending that they won the election. Because of the uniqueness and the MKO situation, we saw what happened with MKO and everything, it would not have been valid, because it would have looked like, oh, you did not win, excuse me, therefore you are calling for a protest. It should have been organic. See, no political opponent should be calling anybody to have to come out, which is why I'm happy that this protest they want to call for December is coming from the big tent rather than from any political party.
Yes.
You know why I say so?
Why?
If a member of a political party does it, listen, the international community begin to take his side. They will begin to say,
but they will still blame the big tent for having political affiliation now. We know that Abdul Karim is a Peter Obi ally. They go see talk and say, and then Pastor Tunde is a Peter Obi ally. They go talk, say the thing a political affiliation.
See, Precious, before the election, the big tent was there as a body.
Yes, it was.
Separate from Peter Obi. It was when Peter Obi was already announced and adopted by the Labour Party, the big tent now say, okay, let us join, and different groups started coming and they made a third force. The big tent existed separately as a force on its own, trying to support the presidential bid, potential presidential bid of Pastor Utomi, although they do things beyond that.
Yes.
The big tent is more focused on strengthening our institutions. That's what Pastor Tunde is all about, strengthening Nigeria's institutions, so it is stronger than individuals. But in summary, Precious, the way forward, I really don't know of this election. What should we do in this election? Try and win more seats in the National Assembly. That's my focus.
The ones wey we win, what you carry and do? Not be on a person for Labour Party. Now be ethics and privileges committee chairman.
You know what happened in the last election? Because, for example, the Labour Party had a history just like any of the other smaller political parties. When it comes to elections, the smaller political parties, they normally sell their position. So if the governor of Delta State is running in Delta State and there are 9 other small parties in Delta State, what the small parties do is they go and collect money from the governor not to give their tickets to any strong person. That's what they do. That's how small parties, political parties, have been sustaining themselves. They always sell the ticket. So if you go and hear the stories online, there's a lot of recorded interviews on it. You go and find out there, for example, Senator Neda Emaswe.
He lost the PDP tickets. I understand.
They gave money. They allegedly gave money to Abure and say, okay, put this my person there first. I don't know if it's Kelly or Baloy from PDP that said, take this my person called Neda, put him there first to block so and so strong candidate that I'm suspecting that wants to come and they're looking for ticket to contest that senatorial seat against me. And they put Neda and they forgot to, one way or the other, they did not manage to swap him before they submitted names. And then the Peter Obi Hula Valley just came and swept everything off. And that's how many of them in the Labour Party got their ticket. There are people that Labour Party typically has collected money to put there as a placeholder until or to block that seat because PDP are giving them money, because APC are giving them money, say, help me to block that seat so that so and so will not come and take this seat. That's how many of the Labour Party. So those people were already sitting there as, oh, let me use it to block, let me to block. And unfortunately, Peter Obi just came and the party became something else that they did not expect.
Thank you. Thank you, Laura. But that also does not stop the fact that you remember that there is a complaint that the National Assembly is like a cult on its own. So that one goes also difficult. And that's why almost everybody is docile in National Assembly. Nobody say they no believe say things they go bad, but they just no fit talk so that it no go affect them. So that one another problem. And that's why we need more opposition in the National Assembly to break that cabal or that cult.
Precious, this time around, what I think we should focus on to a large extent is, and it's very vital, all our eyes are too focused on the presidency. And there's something Chief Dele Momodu said. They asked him almost a month ago, what in the Honest Bunch, or almost 2 months ago in the Honest Bunch podcast, they said, what's his prediction for the election? He said, maximum violence. It's not hard to know what Tinubu will do. Just look at what he's been doing in Lagos. Maximum violence.
Oh God,
that's what he's doing. He doesn't know how to compete any other way. So what should we do? Because he's so focused on his elections, there are House of Rep elections that we should look at. Because why? The capacity of Tinubu to perpetuate himself in office after 2027 should be one of our primary focus. And the way to stop him is to prevent a two-third quorum in the National Assembly. You see, Precious, let me point you to something. In your free time, please try and research it. The current prime minister, or I don't know if he's president, current president of Senegal, right?
Yes.
Him and his friend Ousmane Sanko, I think the president is Jumaye Faye, and then the appointed prime minister, which is Ousmane Sanko. You see, when Ousmane Sanko contested in his 30s to be president and he got only 19% of the votes, in the next election he went into a coalition with so many other, I think 52 or so parties in Senegal, and what they did was they managed to capture almost 1/3 of the votes in the National Assembly. It is part of those votes in National Assembly that they captured that they were able to block a lot of things that the president wanted to do, to extend this, to extend that. And after that, the president managed to be able to send Jumaye Faye and Ousmane Sanko, both of them, to jail.
To jail, yeah.
And by the time he tried to change things, the young people were hitting the streets and everything. And at the end, he had to release them at the contested election, and they were able to win. Why did I say all of that? It took them 16 years. It took Ousmane Sanko 16 years to get Senegal to where he is. So, Peter Obi has done 2023. He did not win. In this second election, in this 2027 election, he should go again. Whilst Tinubu will rig the election, he's not spectacular. He's just a thief. What Tinubu should do, what the opposition should do is, as much as possible, they need to have a coalition, not necessarily because of the presidency, but because of potential Federal House of Rep and Senate seats. Because you saw what happened when they did this vote to suspend Fubara in the River State. The Labour Party had 35. The other party, all the other political parties put together, APC did not have the needed two-thirds.
Yes. So that's why they use voice votes. Yes.
Lots of wrong. Yes, they did the voice vote. Even with people voting anyhow and all that stuff, there is still belief that they did not have enough.
They did not get that. They did not get the vote.
Guess what? In Senegal, you see, it's two things we need. We need to get more conscious. Someone like Aisha Yusufu needs to go into the Federal House of Rep. Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan needs to go. We need crazy people. We need to be as mad, as crazy, as vicious, as wicked.
Matching them aura for aura.
There's nothing else. See, Natasha showed us that White Lion was reduced to the porcupine because of a woman who stood up to Akpabio and to White Lion that you cannot intimidate me. And Nigerians need that. That's why I told you that what we need is courage. Nothing. There is nothing. Nothing is special. Courage.
Thank you.
Simple.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you. You are amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you. Oops. What a conversation. Phone lines are still open. I don't know if anyone wants to join the conversation again. But let's see if I have someone there. Hello, good evening, and welcome. Hello. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Kindly unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Okay.
And just to
Hello.
announce
Hello.
the Nigerians, you're welcome. So just to announce to people, if this is your first time of joining us, press the subscription button now. Follow us like a village people. Sir, you don't subscribe. Or you go
Yes.
subscribe now.
Yes.
Subscribe. Follow us like
Well,
a village
no,
people.
I've been following you from your days in VOP.
Oh, thank you,
So,
sir.
so there are three reasons why I actually called.
Okay,
The
sir.
first one was when you were at VOP, somebody told you the problem with Nigeria, and you asked the person the question. So that made me say I would actually want to have a discussion with you. You know, the person told you the problem was diversity. The problem of Nigeria is a problem of diversity. And you ask that person, is it only Nigeria that has diversity problem?
Yes.
So I made up my mind.
That
I
was a
said,
lot.
one day I would like to have a chat with you. And then the second issue is that this part Utomi, you know, I think he's an enabler. He's a good guy. I like him so much. You know, I follow him, but he is
So
one of those that
why do you think
actually,
he's an enabler?
yeah, I tell you, call him and ask him on a national television with Ruben Abati. He said that the policymakers in international community actually whispered to him that Nigeria is a failed strategy. Okay? And what did Obasanjo said? The
But is
first,
that thing not something that is audible to the blind, to the deaf anyway? Is it not visible
yeah,
to the
that's what
blind?
I'm saying. That's
That
what I'm
Nigeria is
saying.
tilting towards a failed state.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. What did Obasanjo say? The first lesson he learned in military career was never reinforce a failure. So they are trying to reinforce failure all these years to no success. And this idea that he will conduct this massive revolution is not going to happen. One, um, Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not allow that to happen. Okay. Two, it is not possible to have a revolution in Nigeria as a whole. And I'll give you reasons. It's not possible. And that
Why?
goes down to the diversity issues.
Okay.
Okay.
Because you're coming and
Now,
say because my brother they in power and now I won't come do this one now.
the diversity issues. Okay. And again, the reason why the North are making noise now is to make sure that Tinubu, he wanted to regionalize Nigeria. That's what maybe his Yoruba people are telling him to do. So they
But
want
why
to
didn't he do it
distract
from
him.
the get go anyway? You
That's
know they
what
two
I'm
years.
saying.
Should they say get
You
mind
know,
to do within every other person no get mind to do? So why
see,
not if do them anyway?
so that's what I'm trying to say. He started with this tax reform, and they see it as a slippery slope. So they want to distract him, make sure that he doesn't go anywhere, so that even in second term, because he's gonna get second term anyway, because that's the easiest way for the North to get back to power in 4 years after him. So they want to make sure that he's distracted, he doesn't do anything, so that in after 4 years they'll come back and continue their march. Okay. So now let me go back to the answer you that question you asked that man. Okay. There are many countries that have um, diversity problem, but each country has looked at this diversity and solved it and then started developing.
Do you think we're in denial of ours?
Nigeria has continued to be in denial. Now let me give you references to go and list and look at. In 1949, July 1949, Right Honorable Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe addressed the Igbo nation, which is the whole of, including you people that are no longer Igbo people now. He addressed the Igbo nation. In that address, he talked about 4 things. Okay, 4 things. Okay, thank you. Good. Okay, he talked about 4 things. 1, he talked about the hatred of the Igbos. That is, let me put it in perspective. 1949, that is
Can you help me
11
wrap
years.
up so that you can
Okay,
have something to
11,
stand up?
yeah, 11 years before the coup, 17 years before the um, the Civil War, or 18 years before the Civil War. Okay. Now, in that address, he said about the hatred of the Igbos. 2, he talked about lack of federal government infrastructure or political appointment, not the civil service. 3, he talked about the Yoruba media propaganda. Okay. 4, he talked about self-determination. Are these things still present today? They are much present. So
So why didn't
now,
you people start working on it? People like speaking about the
so,
Yoruba media propaganda, for instance.
so,
Why is it? Did anybody stop the Igbos from investing into the media? Why?
yeah,
Why did you
that's
let
what.
the Yorubas dominate the media? That's the question. Because it's not
No,
with Tego Tinyego, Abi Tinyego with Tego business. You understand? So I also blame you guys. See, everybody knows that the Tinubu you know today is a product of the media. Even the Years of Wike is a product of the media. How did he? Because
yeah,
he
yeah,
deliberately
but
invested into the media. Why you
yeah,
not they
but
make that deliberate investment? Understanding, say there's a long-term benefit in investing in the media than just immediate profit. Wwhy?
but but
I
you
also
see,
blame
let me
Southeasterners and South Southerners
no
for not doing
as,
so much in that
as
regard.
media is not development. As a counter to this your question, Shegu Oshoba wrote Tinubu an open letter some time ago and say, if Biafra comes, what does Yoruba have? Just during the Buhari administration, what does the Yoruba now have now? It's only media. So you understand that the media is not, even though it is something that you can use to do this thing and to promote yourself, but it's not real development investment.
Until you
So
see how the Western media is shaping the
Igbo,
world, that's how you understand that media is something.
Igbos know where to input their
Their
investment,
money, Abi. Thank you, sir.
their
I
money.
appreciate
So,
you.
so,
I
so you
appreciate you.
understand that. So this, so the reason why I'm calling you is this. Babangida again, in his book, said that one of the biggest revelation in Babangida is that Nigeria are badly educated, because it wasn't Igbo was the Igbo coup wasn't, because those that did the coup actually told us why they did it. So we knew all along. But his biggest revelation is that Nigerians are badly educated. And they asked him why. How? Who? He said they were badly educated by the politicians, by the influencers, and the journalists. So my question began, so this actually gave me a thought. I say, is it because they deliberately want to miseducate Nigeria, or that they don't know what they are doing? And so they go along with this thing. They will always tell people ethnic, as if ethnicity is a bad thing.
Thank you,
This,
sir.
this
Thank you.
diversity, let me tell you, this diversity.
The
Sorry,
time is fast spent. I'm almost spending
okay,
3 hours. I'm tired
I
and
will
hungry. Can we
but
take
I
a
will,
break?
maybe I will come next time to continue with this conversation
It's
with
fine.
you,
It's fine.
because
It's fine, sir.
what actually happened is that I want to tell you how they missed it, because Ahmadu Bello, Awolowo, and Azikiwe understood this diversity problem with Nigeria. And there are only 2 ways you can solve diversity problem. Either you hybridize or you separate. So, but let me end it here. Maybe next time I'll come and tell you right. I want to answer that question you asked that guy, whether it's only Nigeria, and I'll give you examples of countries with bigger diversity than Nigeria, and how they solved it.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
until that is solved, Nigeria is not going anywhere. So if you find your friend Pat Utomi, tell him that he should be doing something else other than organizing organizing the
So,
protest.
so how about if the protest is successful?
It's not going
You
to
can
be
congratulate
successful.
him. All right.
It's
Thank
not
you.
gonna. It's not gonna be. It's not gonna be successful. Not at all.
All right.
It's
Thank you,
not.
sir. I appreciate it. That
It's
is
not
very
gonna
real.
be.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Good evening to you, sir. Hello, good
Thank you.
afternoon. Sincere apologies for keeping you on hold. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah,
Oh,
good
good morning from your
afternoon.
end. What's your name, sir, and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Samuel Jumofo, speaking from US.
Go ahead, Samuel.
I got to thank you very much for your job, and you make, especially myself, you make me feel at home.
Thank you. Thank you,
When
sir.
I watch your program.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'll keep it up.
Thank you.
I don't have much to say. The only thing that gave the leaders, according to the rulers, they're not leading the country. What gives them the strength to commit all the things they commit because they have killed our judiciary. If our judiciary, is working, believe me, a lot of those nonsense they're doing cannot happen. If you look at them, because we're in the hands of criminals, from number one person, the second in command, the third person, you remember, off a mic and all things like that in Nigeria. That same country, you hear all this. Most of them in the House of Assembly, they don't have second office. Most of them have criminal case. They have swept everything under the carpet. Like the former APC chairman said, if you
Join the APC, your sins will be forgiven.
sin, you have a sin, you join APC, your sin is forgiven. That is what they're operating on. You see a lot of people, defecting. They're defecting because they know they are going to take a shelter there.
Thank you.
So that is the problem. So I don't have much to say. But all we need to do that, if there are going to be protests, that protest must not go to, the other party, the House of Assembly. They're supposed to, launch a very big, attack on those people.
Thank you.
Tell them to sit up. That's all I get to do.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I want to speak to my people too. I have about 100 people I'm talking to. I want to, talk to them now this time around that you talk 10 people in Nigeria. Let us continue to converse people, 10 people.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I'm blessed. When I come to the country, I'll make sure I see you one-on-one. You're doing a good job.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Go and eat and rest.
I'm hungry. I'm tired.
I know. I heard you saying that. Please do that.
Thank
Okay?
you so much. I appreciate you. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Okay. All right. So phone lines ought to be open, but come on, I've done 3.5 hours, almost 5. I mean 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours in this show. I am tired. And considering that I'm coming back on air again in the evening, say 6:30 p.m. Not gonna allow me make a go rest more now. I beg, I beg. Let me go and rest. I'll come back again at 6:30, definitely before 7 p.m. I will try to do so. And by that 6:30 when I come back, I promise it's going to be an open mic. So we'll just have an open conversation on everything that's happening in Nigeria. From the beginning, anybody can, come into the studio. I will even prefer instead of you to call, just join the conversation live and let's talk. Let's begin to map out strategies, things we can do because me, I'm tired. I don't want to live in Nigeria like this for my children and children's children. And I know now to go be like this. We cannot continue like this. I didn't get into this job. I didn't leave mainstream media to remain the same. So I feel like there's a solution, and we are close to getting that solution. If we are determined to get it, we can get it. So make we try our best. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I would plead to take a break now. I'll see you by 6:30 or 6:45 p.m. before 7 p.m. Definitely. Thank you so much. Protect your mental health. I'll see you. Goodbye.